mind if I do?
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready. No.
Heard all about it on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. We're doing the show. Here we go.
Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Let's go. Let's go.
Today, the last day of February?
This is 28th, it is, yeah.
February.
Why Black History Month gotta be the shortest month?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, hey, welcome. How's everybody doing?
Happy Black History Month. Hope it was a good one. Feeling good on a Tuesday. That feels like a Monday. Only because I'm so drag-assed today.
It's a little drag-assy today.
Yeah. You know, I know lots of traffic too, man. Lots of traffic today. Fires me down. But being here fires me up. The CNR and the Patreon. Let's be rocking out.
I felt like ass all night last night. I don't know if it was like just catching up with a little rest, but I feel good today. But last night, I don't know if I ate something bad. I just felt like garbaggio yesterday.
Garbaggio, huh?
Yeah,
Cool, man.
garbaggio.
Is that a little drink to make you feel better, you little fucking baby bitch? I mean, Rich!
Thanks, baby.
Woo!
No, Sarah is trying to master the homemade iced caramel macchiato.
Oh, well, tell us. How is it?
Thumbs up. There you go.
Nice.
Really good.
Now, Rich is going to be off the rails now.
By the
Rich
way.
is going to be off the rails.
This guy's over here fixing his hair. You're being handed coffees. Let's get our shit together.
It says the guy who was sleeping on the air last week, who rolls out of bed in his jammies.
But at least I was here on time.
Yeah, by 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to check my Ring doorbell because I'm pretty sure you got here at 8:58.
But anyway,
I was still sitting in my seat ready to go
he does make a point.
way before either of you two.
He does make a point. Either way, thank you for being here. We appreciate you every day on the Patreon.
You leave at 9 o'clock every day, and I still can't figure out why.
Rich, yeah, it's a weird thing. That's
Well, 'cause I know you don't
stuff.
start until 9:03.
That's not true. I wait for you
He
to come
starts
back.
at 9:03 because you have a weird Outback spot
I
up all
wait
day on
for
that.
you to come. I can't hit the show intro until you're sitting in your seat.
Rich sits down, Spot's about to start the show, and then Rich gets up every day.
I can't figure it out.
without fail.
Can't figure it out.
It's like a weird. It's like he's like, I forgot my, and then he goes and leaves every day,
Can't figure it out.
every day, without fail. And we look at each other like this.
I have tight little windows.
No, but I got it back.
We're
you know?
at your house.
No, it's a weird, and I'm not calling you out on it only because it's like a weird, like
We are sitting in traffic.
everyday thing.
You
I
are
don't even
at
know
your
what to do.
house. Figure it out.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I'm
weird.
saying I have weird little windows of time, much like everyone does.
Well,
And I mean, in the most, if you ask my honest opinion, in the most ideal world, this isn't the easiest time to start the show. In an ideal world, but life isn't all about ideal. It's what works for everybody.
exactly. Which means we've said we're starting at 9, so let's start at 9. It doesn't mean I create a little window from 9 to 9:02 to walk around my house. We start at 9. Move the little window from 8:58 to 9.
I hate to say that he's right, but he's right.
That's
Yesterday,
A Broadway show
Oh, here we go.
doesn't start at 8 p.m. It starts at like 8:02.
That's not true because when we went to see Hamilton, we were walking in and they were doing that. Dun, 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 dun. We missed the whole first
A
number.
movie. We were significantly late. A movie has 17
dun, dun,
minutes
dun.
of previews.
It's like Bleacher Bum saying it's Rich's pregame ritual. I just don't know what it is. It's like he sits down, we're ready to go, and then he's like, and then he leaves, and then he comes back with a fucking
All
muffin.
right. Well,
or something.
I'll tell you.
So-
The Patreon format.
Maybe he walks out of the room, tickles his asshole. He doesn't want to do it in front
The,
of
Press
us.
the,
his
Patreon,
cheek.
the Patreon.
And then he comes back
Yeah,
in.
well, yeah, what's your weird ritual, bro? You like fucking go see Sarah and then come back?
Yeah, maybe
What's
he,
going on when he gets up? And it's every day. If it's not every day, to not exaggerate, it's 4 out of the 5. No, it's 3 out of the 4 shows a day.
Maybe he goes outside,
A week.
sniffs Piper's butthole, and
Yeah.
comes back in.
Crazy.
Who knows what he's into? His
But
rituals.
it's like clockwork. It's like he sits down, we're ready to go, and then he gets up.
Maybe
You
I
have to,
need a pitch clock. It's working for baseball.
Yeah.
You have to tap something 3 times.
It's usually he comes back with something that he forgot, but he always does it.
Well, it's all right. I don't like Patreon.
You can just stop right there.
as far as there being no breaks. It's been a good format for us since SXM. It's still our best option. We love doing it with you guys. We love hanging with you guys, but there's no commercials.
I know.
Fox, there's too many commercials. Well, thank you, babe. When I sit down, there's like a mindset of once I sit down, then I know I'm here for 2.5 hours. So I want to make sure I have my drink. Sometimes like, oh shit, I forgot this, or I forgot a pen in the other room. I don't know, something. I just always want to make sure, because the minute I sit down.
Is it true you go and sniff Ben's feet and then come back? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
Andrew
No,
Marks
but anyway, it just, I don't know. It's shinfo. It's just, to me.
He sniffs his Crocs and comes
We spent
back.
15. All right. I know we've been doing this for exactly 2 years now, to be honest. Let me finish, Mr. Jump the Gun. We've been doing this for 2 years now. I get it, but I still feel like I mentally refresh during commercials. We used to go get a water, go get a coffee. Used to just pace around the studio at Fox. We throw the football and be like, all right, what do you want to get to next? Here, we sort of need to be like, all right, once it's go time, there's no stopping. Doesn't that answer a little bit of what you're saying?
No. Because
Okay.
you could
It
plan.
answers a different question.
You could, yeah. Like later on in the show, like when you get up in the middle of the show, I don't mind. You have to pee or poop. That's fine.
And then, yeah, and then
But we
towards
set
the
a-
end of the
we
show,
set a showtime, and like you live here, so you wake up here. You have the whole morning here. There's
eat.
no reason that you shouldn't be ready to go by showtime. There's no reason. I don't care what the fuck you're doing. Plan accordingly. Him and I are driving.
Today sucked.
Today sucked.
Yeah, today sucked.
In traffic.
good.
Him and I are driving.
It
There's,
did suck today.
you know, sometimes we might run in a little bit later than we're used to, like today. You
Yeah,
know?
I called. I said Spot's going to be in a little later today because traffic was terrible.
Just saying. Plan accordingly.
I'm more harping
it.
on the fact that it's pretty humorous that there's something every day as part of his ritual
Yeah.
that he gets
You
up.
want to fuck up my
right-
ritual?
Yeah, right when the show starts.
To appease who?
Because I'm here
Just
like, all
pointing
right.
But good morning
Good morning.
and guten Morgen to our German friends.
Sorry, that's the traffic manifesting itself.
We got mail to get to. We got stories to tell.
Took me a while to get to Fox yesterday. It was, you know, when Waze takes you on all the side streets and you're wondering, like, is this really saving me any time? But you see the highways backed up. Sucked. I hear you. Traffic stinks. What do you want me to do?
I have a question based on Spotty's observation. If we said showtime is 9:02 every day or 9:03
Well,
every day,
that's what I
would
condition
you
myself.
now make it to 9:05, 9:06?
Yes.
Subconsciously?
without fail.
Yeah,
'Cause
subconsciously.
you and I would be
Because
sitting
you
here
can't-
ready.
Yeah, and you'd get
And
up.
you would just be like,
and it
oh,
would
yeah,
be-
we'll do final checks.
Huh.
Final checks.
That's more of the question, I guess.
Here's
Maybe.
You know what? Based off this conversation,
Yeah.
tomorrow is year 2, the start of year 2, or year 3. Sorry, tomorrow's been 2 years, so the start of year 3. Why don't we change the whole format of the show? We start at 9, and we build in a break at 10, and that 2-minute break,
Halftime?
halftime. I'll play. Well, I can't play music. I'll figure out something to do. Halftime. I'll create a little explosion of
It
video.
just, there's never been.
Halftime.
Can you just play like a montage of photos?
But yeah, there's never been.
to through the
I
years.
guess what I'm saying, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying there's just never been a podcast or radio show, sports, politics, entertainment, anything that's just gone for hours straight.
I mean, I agree with that.
There's breaks in the action, and there's breaks in the action to mentally refresh, fucking go to the bathroom, to have a sip of a drink, to do something.
People don't understand that what we're doing is unconventional.
Yes, it is.
And although you guys are paying for it and we appreciate that, there's still things that we need to do to adjust. That's not complaining. It's just explaining. Like I was reading
course.
feedback yesterday saying, what the fuck, you lazy? You're this lazy, this and that. And why don't you do a Friday show? It's like, you realize that people pay for podcasts that are on like once every fucking
Month?
2 weeks, sometimes once a month. Like that's craziness. We're on 4 days a week.
For 2 hours.
For 2
yeah,
hours.
roughly
Most
two
podcasts
and a half
are 1
hours.
hour.
Yeah.
And we do that because we love it, honestly. You know, sometimes we go 2.5 hours because we're having fun. It's people's crazy expectation. It's their ignorance on like what the norm is nowadays and what they're accustomed to from our days at Sirius XM. Different ballgame. We don't have commercials. It's going to be different. We have to make adjustments. And, 2 years in, going on 3, we should have it by now.
I think also
It's just a different game.
I can never do a full radio show or TV show or anything, for a long time that, and not have something to eat or something to drink or something like that. So now add to that, you're forced to have your coffee and, eat a little something on the air.
No. Drinking something has always been
Yeah.
a normal sort of way. Eating something, that's just you not being ready. That's just rude. No one wants to hear you eating on the air. But again, it's our Patreon. Maybe it's the podcast way. I don't know what to tell you. Podcast world is a different world. It's a more lax world than an actual broadcast. And then if you're saying, well, other podcasts will do it because they're doing it once every 2 weeks to a month, and they're doing it for an hour.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't have to eat or piss or walk away when they're there for an hour. Again, we're here for 2.5. Not complaining. Just explaining. Not hating. Just stating. Happy to be here. I love the Patreon. I think there's a bit of structure that's needed. We have different ideals on that and different strategies, and that's fine. I'll try to bring what I feel to the table. I think it's a balance. I think it's got to be more loose. So if Rich wants to fucking eat a croissant, hey, maybe that's okay. I don't know. But
Rich loves croissants.
there also needs to be some structure.
I love croissants.
Or else it's just a piece of shit at that point.
And Danishes.
Yeah.
But I think the funnier part is
I've been doing the
there's a subconscious itch that Rich has, whether he knows it or not, at 9 a.m. when we start every day.
Well, I'll promise you this.
You don't have to promise me.
No, I'll promise you this. I won't change.
There you go.
Okay, is that
There
cool?
you go.
I promise.
I didn't expect you to.
I didn't expect it either.
I saw something that I thought was interesting. Is this has to do with you reading feedback, and I saw something. I'm wondering, should everyone, not us, fuck us. We appreciate your love and support.
But again, we do 16 shows a month, right?
Yeah.
People charge. I understand some podcasts are for free.
Most are free. I get it. So yeah,
But the ones that charge, like these D-list celebrity people that charge, are doing 1 to 2 a month.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
We're doing 16 a
For
month
like
for 2 hours.
For like an hour. They're doing 1 or 2 a month for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I think tonight's when I'll do a fun behind the velvet rope. Last night I was sick. I told you. I don't know what I ate. I'd say don't worry, I'm not contagious because I feel great now. But I wasn't shitting myself. I didn't throw up. You you just feel like you have a bug, like you caught something? Like I think I had something that's gone.
A Willy Wutterbug?
I don't know, dude.
Kind of
Like
bug.
last night, I felt like shit. I was cold and I was hot. I had the chills. I tried to take a hot shower. My stomach hurt. And now
Doesn't sound good.
And now, no, but now all of a sudden I feel good again. Like I just feel like maybe
food poisoning.
maybe food poisoning or something. But I didn't shit myself, and I didn't throw up. So I'm like, could it be food poisoning if you don't do either of those things?
I don't know, man. Go see a doctor. Hope you had a great Monday night.
Don't go see a doctor. Just trap yourself in a room with 2 other people where it's all hot and steamy and germs are flying.
I hope
Okay, Howard Stern.
I hope your Monday night was better than the Borchler last night.
Do you know that weirdo? I'm sorry, Howard Stern. Do you know that he went out for the first time? I think it was October or November. I don't know what made me look this up because I think someone was saying like Stern's like one of those weirdo COVID people. I saw an article that it wasn't until like a few months ago that he finally left his house.
I thought of Howard last night. Why did I think of Howard? Can't remember.
But that's why. Like I you know what? I was watching something about Jimmy Kimmel, and it took me to a link of like Kimmel and Stern went out for the first. He left his house for the first time like 3 months ago. I'm like, oh my god! And he made Jimmy Kimmel and his wife like test twice to see him. Like, and I wonder like, fucking makes you a weirdo.
Somehow Howard came across my mind. Probably came across my timeline, and I was thinking to myself, don't you find it strange that we worked for the same company as this dude for like 16, 17 years, and he never once embraced us? Like, never once.
I don't think of those type of things.
I do. Like, never once said, like, he may have referenced us 2 or 3 times in those years. may have referenced seeing Rich in the hallway. Robin may have brought my name up, but like never once.
See,
and we work for the same company.
I haven't
How
listened.
fucking berserk is that?
I haven't listened.
And I knew him back even
yeah.
before that.
I haven't listened to him for years and years, but
I don't
apparently,
either.
according to Chris, he might not go to Ronnie the limo driver's wedding unless everyone's there like double tested for COVID. It's fucking 2023. Jesus Christ.
Hey, he's the greatest to do it, but I don't know what happened to his show and him, but I wish him the best.
Yeah.
Well,
hey.
Last night, the Borchler was just beyond terrible, not even worth talking about.
I tweeted and you actually responded. I was saying how Sarah and I agree that maybe he's not the worst guy. He just has, what did I write? This guy's inability to talk to women is insane. Like, I think of Covino in his single days or me in my single days, or even Spot, who is back on the scene. Yo, Spot,
Chris being clean.
This bachelor has zero ability, 0.0 ability to be empathetic,
But you hate him on an
understanding.
absurd level.
I just think there's something about him. Like last night,
I think it's your resentment that you could have been the Bachelor.
I mean, you can think that all day, and
I do,
I'm sure
'cause
deep
you're-
down inside, that's why I hate him.
Your hate is like next level.
No, because other
the dude
bachelors,
is fucking boring though.
no, other bachelors, I'm like, well, that guy's handsome or cool. This guy, there was a girl last night that was like, hey, listen, I just want more time with you. And he couldn't understand it. She's like, I'm here to see if you're the one for me. Why are you confused that I want more time with you?
I want a one-on-one.
And he's like,
why is that so important?
why is that so important? She's like, I don't know, because I'm hanging with you with a group of girls on some corny date. Meanwhile, like, if I really want to get to know you, don't you think I want to spend a day just you and I? And he's like, I don't see your point.
There's no need to harp on it. Boring as
I
fuck.
fucking
So
hate this guy. Stinks.
it's the Borchler. Like,
I mean,
and I had a question based on it.
Why are you so surprised?
because other year Spot, the
No.
guys are
He's been calling
charming.
it the Borchler for 3 years.
And maybe
No, you're right. Bachelor in Paradise is the only thing worth the watch.
Yes,
Yeah.
just stop.
So
Just
the
stop
Borchler was on
watching.
last night, and
Stop it.
It made me think: what's more grueling for me,
Stop it.
watching the Borchler or doing these human resources tests that we have to take for work? Fucking unbelievably useless.
I did them both last night.
Yeah, me too.
I'm caught up.
I stayed
caught
up till the wee hours of the night because we work for iHeartRadio on Fox Sports, and SXM had one we had to do
Oh,
too.
I got that too.
Yeah.
That I need to do by March 6th, or there's
Yeah,
problems.
but it's a quickie.
Okay, good.
But you get these things from Workday, which
get
was advertised on the Super Bowl this year.
It was great, by the way.
Yeah, with
Workday had a great advertisement.
Ozzy and Paul Stanley,
like-
and everybody's a rock star.
Yeah, don't use the phrase "you're a rock star"
You're
unless
a
you're
rock
actually
star.
a
I love
rock
You're a
star.
rock star.
It was a Workday commercial. So through Workday, every
Say it.
company sends out their human resources exams that you're supposed to take. And, I get it. Companies are trying to be
Proactive and
Proactive
in
and-
fairness, and they
trying
want
to protect themselves.
they want to be inclusive, and rightfully so. But these
and they
these
force
tests
you
are,
to take these fucking horrendous tests and sit through horrendous lessons. And they take it serious. So your boss will get on you. I'm sure we're not the only ones. Your boss will be like, hey, look, sorry, but I did it. You got to do it. And you sit there and you see the time. It's like, this test will take approximately 25 minutes.
No, the one last night said approximately
47.
47. Yeah, it said
And
this
then
will
the
take.
other
I'm
one's
like,
40. Well,
said
did you take the
47.
other then? Because there's more than that one.
I did two. One was 20 something. So
yeah.
I caught up on both, but I told you I was sick last night. So I was just laying on the couch. The kids were watching some cartoon, and I said, you know what? I put it on mute, and every time I saw the arrow light up that I could press next, I was like,
Gruelingly
Next.
boring.
Next.
So boring. Honestly, I didn't know what was more boring. Taking these tests, and I have a method to them, or watching the Borchler. And here's my method. It's kind of like what Rich said, but I actually listened to it just in
have Jordan
case.
do.
oh, no, I remembered. I knew everything from the FCC training except one thing. One thing that I must have forgot from when I was on FM radio back in the day. I was unaware.
Can't say poop.
Yeah, I was unaware
Rich
of.
breaks all the rules.
Breaks
He brings
all.
up bathroom habits all the time.
Bathroom- I was
He
unaware.
brings up drugs.
Drugs.
Well, what
He
drugs?
brings up sexual references.
Sexual references.
These are all
He
things.
sexually harasses people.
Sexually harasses people.
He does it all. He's above the law, Rich Davis.
No, I think the one thing that I'm like, ooh, I got to remind myself of that. All the other things, I know that when I try to toe the line, I really try to push it on Fox with sexual references or like drug stuff. I feel like that's my goal. My goal is to push the envelope with that stuff.
Hey,
Right?
whatever. Yeah.
That was my number one goal on Fox is to be. I want us to be the show that pushes those envelopes.
stands out.
Yeah, because every other show on the network is not doing that type of stuff. They're sports nerds for the most part, good guys, but I want to be the show that pushes it. However, I was unaware that
You don't want to be the show that talks to boring reporters the whole time?
No, I do not. I'm fascinated. I must have forgot, and thank God it hasn't bit us in the butt. I was unaware how offensive like bathroom humor is in the FCC terrestrial world. They're like, like shit jokes and poop and farting and like talking about peeing. Like I got Danny G had hit the dump button once because I said, "Oh, Covino, remember you went on the date with that girl back in the day when you were single and she got so drunk she peed in the parking lot?" They had to dump that. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
For what?
Made that clear so many times. No references of bodily fluids.
It's like it was in our last training that we did.
Yeah.
Man, so much for me. I guess
That's
He
what
must have been on mute.
let me cross off.
That's what happens when you focus on just the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me cross off today's hot topic on Fox Sports. People you want to jizz on.
So I keep one headphone in. I'm miserably going through it like Rich does. And then at the end, they usually give you a quiz. And the method is simple.
You did say shard out on Fox yesterday.
And I said it by accident.
It was by accident.
Which made it funny. But you pick the most lame answer possible, and you'll probably be right.
Oh, it's the best.
So
Hey,
that's really the method to it.
Doug-
The end. It's a no-fail method.
Yeah,
by
it's
the way.
like you see. I said I muted, so you just see this interaction with two people. It's like
You pass
what?
the test, and then you move on.
It's like what did Doug do wrong? I always write all the above.
Yeah,
all the above.
Are all of the choices lame?
Sometimes it's not
All of the
always.
But I'm telling you, you pick the lamest possible choice, and it's probably your safest answer, and you're correct.
I just find behavior that Rich has done throughout the years
And just say yes.
just say the opposite of it.
You know what else I find interesting too? After doing these miserable tests, again, companies just trying to look out for themselves and keep you honest, I guess. When I'm done and I'm complaining and kicking like a little baby boy because I don't want to do these things, Jordan will often say things like this. She'll be like, "Did they pay you extra for that?" And I'm like, "No."
I
And
find
like,
it funny. I'm not calling out Jordan.
It's funny because
I'm not calling
she
out
has
Jordan.
that mentality about everything. You're like, no, that's not how life works.
I am fascinated.
She's like,
And
well,
not
they
just-
should.
and not just
And
Jordan.
And I'm glad she backs me up on it, but
Yeah.
it's like that sort of mindset is a hot girl's mindset always.
Bro, it's so funny because I've heard Jordan say this before to you.
Yeah, it's
not
not
to
just-
call her out, but like anything Covino does that's, hey, Covino, you need to fill out these forms and do this or do this extra little thing. Hey, Covino, could you record a liner saying this? Are they paying you extra for that? Like,
It's like, that's not how it works. If you're hot, maybe it works that way, but it doesn't work that way for me.
Like at yoga, whenever we have to do like an extra training or meeting, they have to pay you an hourly rate, like an admin rate. But that's what we're not like contracted employees, so it's different. We're just regular part-time employees, and that's how the business is conducted.
Jordan says every job she's ever had paid her for external meetings and certifications. Yeah, but like full-time salary jobs, they don't give a fuck. They're telling you to do it. That's your boss. You do it. I understand that younger mentality of like, well, I don't know. You know, like there's just a younger mentality and disconnect. Maybe it's like a younger, like hot woman mentality. I don't know what it is, but it's like, no, I sort of just do what the boss says I got to do. I don't really question
yeah,
it.
I'll give you an example
But like
where
a younger person wants to question everything.
I
Like,
gotta find this.
is that part of my description? It's like, I don't know. I just grew up like doing what the boss said. And that's kind of how I work. And it's worked for me for all these years. So leave me alone.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll give you one. And by the way, to answer Sean, Super Agent Wyman, I don't feel the need to push the envelope with like a drug or sex reference. I just don't shy away from it because I know it differentiates us when we don't shy away from those things. Does that make it a
Well,
sense?
it's going to make the show stand out. There's no question about
I'm not
that.
like intentionally being like, let me lean towards sex or drugs or something. I just feel like
But
when
there's
those
something to be said.
subjects come up, I don't tiptoe as much as, you know.
I had a conversation with Sean when we started at ESPN. I said, hey, Sean, you think I should wear my earrings on ESPN? He goes, why do you want to wear them? I was like, I just want to stand out. Everyone there is a fucking nerd. And he goes, honestly, you don't need to wear earrings to stand out over there.
Everyone there
Shazam.
is a fucking
So
nerd.
you don't need to do that, is what
That's
he's
true.
saying.
Okay.
You know, you're funnier and more charming.
I mean,
and
he
you're
is
fucking,
he is super into Sean
bouncing
Wyman.
off the rails more than any host on the planet.
Is there anyone to you that's not a nerd? Like, is anyone that's cooler than you?
Not many.
I'd like
You're
to
just,
get a list.
you're just born with it. You know.
Can
It's
you
not
get?
like-
Can you like make up a list for me?
I'll give you 2 people.
Okay.
Now, not cooler than me,
One
but I
list.
can acknowledge cool. I think Jonas Knox is cool. I think Rob Parker's cool.
Oh, they're really cool.
I think like there's people we work with. I'm like, yo, they're cool.
Oh, yeah. I said at ESPN.
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
At
yeah.
ESPN, Gary Streisky's cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
no, I meant like all of-
Victoria Arlen's
But
cool.
his point was you don't need to do that to stand
I
out.
meant
Linda
in all of
Cohen's cool.
I meant in all of society because I feel like even that's a short list.
Yeah, not many cool people.
Maybe you're born with it.
But you
Not
know
many
what?
People are cooler than Covino.
You know what?
Maybe.
Spot, I think some athlete was asked this recently, and since I'm a bird brain, I forget who, but it could be anyone.
I'll remember.
Someone was asked, and they said, yeah, I'm the best. And it's like, well, what do you want? And you've said this before. What do you want me to say? Other people are better than me? I think someone was asked, like, who's the best? And they insinuated, like,
it was,
they were.
Was it Jalen Hurts? No.
That's a
I
good
think
guess.
he's referencing Jalen Hurts.
Was it Jalen
No,
Hurts?
but I
when
think
he
it was
asked
someone in
about
the-
Mahomes.
I think it was someone in the
I think-
NBA.
I think
and
they were
I think it was
just
someone in the
talking
NBA.
about-
But Hurts, I think, also did when he's like, yeah, I'm.
He's like, Mahomes is good.
Yeah, if you don't think you're the best, like you have to think that way. What would you want someone on your team or someone in your company to be like? You're a pretty good sales guy, but they're way better. You have a good truck driver and all, but I'd say you want me to name cooler truck drivers? That guy and that guy.
So that was my Monday night. It was like fighting the boredom of having to do these things, watching The Bachelor and hating myself for it, but waiting for something good to happen.
Well, you know what, that guy, I'll say one last thing because I know people have a fucking boner. Certain people have a boner that the minute you say the word bachelor, even if it's like the most relatable, funny topic, their dick hurts or something when you say it. This guy, just a reminder, has no ability to talk to women. And when you were single, don't you feel like when you could tell when a woman was trying to get her point across, like you might not always have been the most empathetic and you try to work on empathy and listening. And a lot of times women don't want a solution. They just want you to listen. But you don't think this guy's particularly like cold and like unaware of how he talks to women? Like something about him, like Sarah and I were like,
He's just boring.
Sarah's like, he has like a secret
His
temper
terrible
too.
humor.
Bad humor and like almost like a secret temper. Sarah's like, I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years it's like we hear a story. It's like, yeah, The Bachelor like off the rails. Like that guy's like bad temper, like
He's
a secret
not a
temper.
funny guy. He's just not. So it makes it a boring situation. But I'm watching anyway, you know, because I'm invested now. So then I went to bed, and I guess I must have set my phone to update itself. I didn't realize I did. Then I woke up.
Well, sometimes it automatically does it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so I woke up like, oh, wow, my clock looks different. What else is different? All those emojis are there that we talked about, brand new emojis. I'm like, oh, there they are.
Clock?
And then
My clock looks the same.
I realized that there's an option. Maybe it was always there, but I saw it now for the first time where it shows your duplicate photos. And I'm sure there's apps for that, and there's ways to figure out, you know, your duplicates. Thanks to my sisters, who, by the way, I love when they send me pictures of all their little kitties. I love the smiles that put a smile on my face. But they send me pictures all day. And then they'll copy me and my sisters and then me and my parents. So I'm getting duplicates all the time. And I'm on top of it trying to delete the photos of the duplicates. And I still had 600 duplicates in my gallery. 95% of them from my sisters sending me doubles of all their kids
Put
all
them
the
in
time.
your gallery garage.
My gallery. By the way, man, you got a lot of stuff out there. Rich wasn't lying. Rich was not lying. There's a lot of CNR merch and a lot of other stuff that he needs to figure out. Because there's a lot of, hey, I don't want to cramp your, never mind. I'll say
No,
it.
say it again.
Nope.
Say it.
Nope.
I'm looking for that Gary Vee clip I'm thinking about. And I realized like four posts ago, he posted you and I.
What Gary Vee clip?
You gave it a little like rock emoji.
But what Gary?
I'm looking at Gary Vee's Instagram. I'm trying to find a clip that sort of goes along with what we're saying about younger people wanting to get paid for extra stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I realized I scrolled one scroll and he posted a clip of you and I and him at the Super Bowl.
So the update provides an option where you can merge your duplicate photos and eventually save some space. And it picks the higher quality version of that photo if something was altered to it. And I had over 600 duplicates. And I'm on top. That's my point. I'm always trying to eliminate the duplicates. And there were still 600 of them.
Damn.
All my nieces and nephews. If anyone has lots of nieces and nephews, probably have lots of duplicates in your phone.
Yeah. Do you turn off your automatic saving, like Bill said?
Yeah, but I want the photos of my nieces and nephews.
Save them manually.
Yeah, but then I won't save any.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah, no, I understand there's that option.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Then I'll never have any of them.
Nah, you're right.
And I don't have the heart to delete the actual photos that they send me unless they're just terrible. And my sister Jen's infamous for that.
How you gonna
She
delete-
sends me like 35 blurry photos. I'm like, couldn't you do the work for me? I
You know,
need 35
can I
blurry
tell ya?
photos of your kids.
One thing, since
as
I'm,
much as I love seeing their beautiful little faces.
Spot,
I mean that.
Spot, can I take your title for 1 second?
The Fuckmaster?
No, you took that title from me, and I think I'm on the brink of getting it back, but a different title. I'll have this guy laugh. Has sex with people the first time when he's 42.
Oh, man,
and
don't
all of
look
a
at
sudden he's
me.
the fuckmaster.
I'm not getting in the middle of this
when I was
weird
42,
conversation.
Rich. That's cute.
So, smartest guy in the room, or best guy ever. I'm really good at when I send pictures to friends and family, being like, all right, let me narrow it down to like
Narrow it down.
like mother-in-laws and aunts and uncles, like send some pictures of the kids.
Sister
I'm like,
Jen takes the whole gallery and says,
Yeah, I know.
hey, crop these and edit them all you want.
airdrops
I get
48
55
photos.
I don't need all that. And then she'll copy me on 2 little galleries. And now I have, if it was 50 photos, now I have 100 photos that I have to sort through.
Yeah. And you know what I do?
Thanks
I
for all
like
the work.
You go through your pictures. How many are pictures and how many are screenshots? Like I had a screenshot of a quote I like, and I'm like, do I delete that or do you keep those things as memories? Like,
Depends. Sometimes I might need it.
I thought this is a good one that applies to everyone. Don't worry about criticism. This goes to what you were talking about, looking at feedback.
Yeah.
Don't worry about criticism from people that you would never seek advice from.
True that.
Never worry about criticism from people you would never seek advice from. I think it's a pretty fucking solid statement. But Spot, just to show you, like I sent 2 pictures this morning to my mother-in-law because she's like, how are the kids? I miss them. And I said, boom, 2 pictures. I narrowed it down. I even went to the live photo, got to just the right frame where the kid was looking. And I'm like, send. But I know what you're saying. Sometimes you'll get hey, send me a picture of the kid or how's life? 13 blurry photos.
Yeah. So I had 600 duplicates. I found that to be amazing because of the new update. I was late on the update. It came out about a month ago, I'd say. And not even. Like 3 weeks ago, because we talked about the new emojis and everything else. I finally got the update. I woke up and I'm like, man, I got to merge these photos and save some space. The end.
I back up everything. I finally, just from doing the show and videos and taking photos and everything, I had to finally go to cloud backup with my photos.
I know what's going to happen.
I had to.
I'm going to have to spend like $1,000 and I'm going to hate every second of it. Maybe not 1,000, but I have an old Mac and an old MacBook. You know when the battery pops in it because it explodes, like the battery. I have a MacBook and a desktop Mac that have a lot of pictures and videos of the kids and Sarah stuff, and neither one I think could turn on because of this current state. And part of me feels like I'm going to bring those to the Apple store and they'll be like, yeah, sir, we could retrieve all this for $1,000.
Send them to Kyle.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I will. Kyle Treese is the G. I'd rather send him money than someone else.
You know what you could do? You could just pop out the drive, put it in a housing, mount it on a different computer, and just pull stuff off that way.
You know what? If someone knows how to do that, I'd rather pay them than the fucking genius at the Genius Bar.
Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle Treese. But Spot, I sent 2 pictures this morning, and we'll focus a little bit, take our chalk, our focus factor.
Speak for yourself.
Today is
The Bachelor. I don't know what's more boring, The Bachelor or taking these tests. Check.
They
Went
are
to bed.
They are both.
And I got an update on my phone, and I'm here to tell you about the duplicate option that is there for you.
Oh, it
and
is.
to narrow and merge your shit together and save some space. The end.
I do feel like we have so many things on old phones that are in the cloud or on old computers or hard drives that I think if you don't go through them once in a while, it does become like an old box of shitty old pictures. Like it's the same thing mentally. Like you sort of like you probably
it's
have
like
a hard
mental
drive.
cleanup. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, I got to clean my shit up. because it's a mess. Your phone is like, yeah, it's like your photos. It's like your mom. Here's my mom's method. I don't know your mom's method, but back when it was just me as a little kid, my mom had all her photos in a photo album, real nice, right? And then kids come along and they ruin everything. And now my mom has all her photos in. You know how bedroom duvets come in those plastic things?
Oh yeah, of course.
with
Yeah,
the zipper around
they're
it?
great little carriers afterwards.
Yeah. My mom just has photos just thrown in there.
Bunch of clear duvet things.
Bunch of in those clear duvet things. And she must have those clear duvet holders, like 7 of them, full of just photos of family with no sort of organization whatsoever. So if I'm like, Mom, whatever happened to that picture of Papo or me when I'm flexing with the sunglasses? What happened to that? I don't know, Steven, you must have it. And then I realized, oh no, because she has 700 bags of photos unorganized. That's what happens in your phone now.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I gotta sort this out.
And you know what? It's a daunting thing, right? So it's like, if you don't, I've encouraged people in the past to do this, and I know it's not easy, but every 3 to 6 months, really try to pick out a few, print them out, or make a book or a little video show or a slideshow or something, because otherwise it gets overwhelming and you're like, oh, like I can only imagine Covino's overwhelming hard drive collection from when Melody was a kid.
There's
Too many.
so many services that do this,
I know.
and you just link it to but download an app. Some of them just do books of the photos. Some of them you can create little photo books.
Yeah, but when people
when
people are obsessed with their when people are obsessed with their annoying little kids, you talk about like 20,000 photos a year. Like it's
Rugrats.
It's absurd. And by the way,
Melody's like, Dad, do you have pictures of my room? We lived on blank street. And I'm like, yeah, about 3,000 of them. Like, just let me find him.
yeah. Well, this week at the kids' school, you probably remember this when Melody was a little younger, but maybe they still do it in middle school. Where like, hey, today's crazy pants day, tomorrow's wild hair day, the next day is like
Spirit Week.
Yeah, it's like, but I feel like they do it quite a bit. Like today at Ben's preschool, it's crazy hair day.
When I first heard about Spirit Week, I thought it was like, is this all about gay stuff? What is that? But
I
then
got
it's like,
spirit.
oh,
How about you?
it's like theme week. It's like,
Yeah.
or, you know, every day is a different theme. And then there's Dr. Seuss week, and there's all kinds of shit.
and then what is it
Come
on
your
the
day
on the
and dress like an
100th
old lady day.
yeah, on the 100th day of school they do like dress like you're 100 years old. They do all that shit. But today,
I used to show you those pictures.
yeah,
I just didn't care.
did.
I'm just kidding.
Today for Emmy, today for Ben was crazy hair day. And it reminds me of when remember I did my hair crazy when we met Jason Momoa? Looked like I got fucking electrocuted.
Remember when you had that Mel Gibson mullet?
What?
I'm asking you to pull up pictures.
Oh, I'm just doing my 9:40 stretch.
Oh, I didn't know what he was doing.
Sorry,
I was like,
I stretch every day at 9:40. That's weird.
you're allowed to stretch at 9:40?
It's like you getting up at 9 a.m. Just
Oh,
being-
was that a joke, or did you really mean to get up?
9 o'clock, and I want to start the show.
I
Here's
didn't
Benny
know.
Boy.
Was that a?
Here's Ben.
I mean that's
He looks like a Who from Whoville.
look at that hair.
He looks like Baby Boy Who.
I can't even fit the hair in the frame.
Some hair right there. It's crazy hair day.
Yeah, looks like a pineapple head.
He doesn't ever want you to put product in his hair until you say, "Do you want spiky dino hair?" And he's like, "Well, spiky dino hair, yes." So I'll be like, Ben, let me fix your hair. No, don't touch.
That's funny.
Then you're
man.
like, spiky
So
dino
you
hair.
had spiky dino hair with Jason Momoa. Is that what it was?
Yeah, spiky dino
He's
hair.
a chip off the old blockhead.
Yeah, and then
I
Emmy-
love that you try to pretend that you didn't try to rock a new hairdo that day.
Do you think
It's
I was?
okay,
You think I
because
was?
there's nothing wrong with
You
that.
think I was permanently going for this haircut?
Yes, you were like testing it out. You were testing it out. I look at photos sometimes. I'm like, what was going on there?
Yeah,
I
what
must
was
have been trying something different. Look, I was trying a mohawk right there.
But like, what was Rich doing?
Yeah, but you have to zoom in to really see what was going on there. Yeah, he had like he was going for like the
What
Johnny
was that?
Bananas or something.
What was that?
I don't know.
You know what? Maybe I was trying something.
I mean,
Maybe if you guys were all like, "Bro, that's awesome," I would have been like, "Thanks, man." It's my new look. Maybe I was like feeling you out.
you still had poofs. And like the hair was just wild.
Yeah, maybe if you guys were like, "Man, Rich, that's the look," maybe I would have been like, "You think, guys?" And that would have been permanent.
Funny, dude.
I mean, that's not
Yeah,
any
my
better.
hair
That's not
sucks.
much better.
But I was definitely going for something, but it was all grown in there. That shit looks corny. And look at that guy.
Look at that guy.
Jason Momoa. You guys got the same eyes. Look
He
at his
was
eyes.
more handsome then, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we all were.
Yeah,
but
we all were.
I don't like that fucking dirty homeless look that he's got. I know he looks rugged. It's like there's a fine line between rugged and homeless.
Got a little bit of a gut too.
Handsome guy, though.
Hey, very handsome guy.
But I thought you'd appreciate today at Emmy School is Crazy Sock Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel if anyone would appreciate the socks that she has, you would.
Let's see how crazy they are.
These are some fun. Oh well, first of all, she's got the Pika look going on. She wanted to do the Pikachu thing, but if you scroll, if you zoom in on her socks, I know it's a little tough to zoom in, but look at these bad boys. Cappy Tongue Crunch socks.
Wow.
Where you get those?
They're like a mall store. They
Which
were
is
like, you know,
which
like
is
$5 for a pair of random, like, you know, they had all the weird prints.
That's
and
great.
She's like, Dad, I like those. I'm like, Captain Crunch socks? She's like, yeah.
Does that Pikachu thing light up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When her feet start sweating, you know what he's going to say, right?
soggies.
They're no longer crunchy.
You know, maybe I was going, Green Optimist is right. That picture with Momoa, maybe I was going for some like 2000s Dane Cook hair. And if you guys would have told me, yeah, it looks great, maybe I would have kept some wild hair.
Yeah, like there's this picture of me and Ozzy, right? Ozzy Osbourne that I see often. It was in my photos to merge actually this morning. And I'm like, what was I going for there? I hated it.
Look is that?
And every once in a while, you know, in our world, you have to reference these photos. And you're like, man, I fucking hate that photo. What was going on with that? Let's see if I can find it. But either way, thank you for being here. I know Rich had a lot of stuff to get to yesterday that he didn't get to. So I'll zip it and we'll save mail time. And then, you know, the other things I want to get to.
We might get to all that, but first and first, mostly I wanted to wish Don Sacco well. I saw he chimed in that he goes for his big surgery tomorrow to remove the tumor, and wishing him well. Crossing our fingers, sending the love and prayers to
man.
Lasagna Don. So
All the best to you, buddy. We love you.
if you have a spare moment today, just send some good vibes, prayers, whatever works for you, to one of our good friends
What's the
and listeners.
difference between good vibes and prayers?
Well, if someone
One's
doesn't,
just a
all right.
nicer way of saying, like, I don't want
Well, if someone's not religious, they might say, "I'm going to send good vibes and good love your way." Someone that prays might say, "I'm going to say a prayer for you."
What's the difference?
I don't know. You know, Emmy asked me something while we were laying in bed the other day. That, you know, when your kids ask you a question, and sometimes like, "Oh, I don't know how to answer this."
All the time.
She said, "Dad, how did humans become humans?" And I go, "That's a good question, buddy. What do you think?" And she goes, "Well, I think I heard that like a fish turned into a monkey, and then it got, as time went on, it turned into a human." And she goes, "But then I heard that God created people." And I go, "Well, buddy, maybe it's a combination of the both." I go, "You know, people believe different things, but you know what Dad might believe? Maybe, I don't know what you believe, but maybe it's a combination. God created life, and maybe it then turned into what we are today." And I was like, I think I did a good answer. Because I'm like, I don't know, how do you answer a 5-year-old when they ask you how humans work?
Something that
I give a hybrid answer of evolution and religion. I was like, God created something that
I always
became us.
pictured God as Jesus, like stirring me in a pot at my tita's house.
So-
in my tita's giant, like fucking 1800s pot.
my high school biology teacher always had a good view on this.
Because God made all of us.
So, you know, we all emerged from the primordial ooze as single-celled organisms and evolved and grew and whatever. Maybe it was a higher power that nudged the evolution into man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for a 5-year-old, I think I gave the right answer.
I don't think
Hey,
we
buddy,
were-
God created God created Earth, and I think, you know, what God created. And then I said, I go, buddy, the crazy part is it's a mystery and no one really knows. But Daddy's guess is that it's a combination of evolving and a God or a higher power. And she's like, okay. I'm like, thank God I'm off the hook. But those are
So
questions
wait, you
that
didn't make us in my tita's pot?
and I said, but see, Uncle Steve thinks that we were all in a pot and God stirred it
I
up.
picture him, my tita's big spoon.
Then he's like, a good pompadour, and he's like spices. He was throwing it in like huge hog, throwing this.
And by the way, not to take it off this deep conversation, but I actually found a picture of me and my tita.
Air tita?
Yeah, my grandma
Cool.
that I'd never seen before. It was a photo of her giving me a bath. Spot, did you see it? I just sent it to you.
How old are you, 15?
It's a rare photo.
A rare photo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That,
I'm excited to see this now.
Yeah, it's a photo of my tita giving me a bath when I was just a little kid. And
Well, I mean, a chick ate an apple and it was downhill from there. Should I have said that? Thank you, Mark.
no, I think you. Oh, there it is. There.
Is that you? I'll be honest. If you told me that was you, I'd say I get it. Makes sense. On brand.
But I have to tell you, 15 people sent me that. Thank you.
This is why Latino men expect to be treated like kings as adults, damn near 13 years old, and saying, "Lávame,
Lávame.
lávame, lávame, abuelita,
Yeah,
lávame."
that's my mom cleaning me in the sink when I was 12.
You know,
So anyway,
it's crazy to think
Is it?
when
You just
I'll give you this. You see the is that my hair? I gotta go back to that look.
Spot, did you see the one I sent you too? Like, I don't know. I was like, what was I going for in that?
It's pretty
photo?
good.
My sister.
Look at the picture I sent you. I see this photo all the time. I'm like, oh,
Sorry, it's all ADD,
I didn't get it.
but I'm not really.
I did. I sent it to you.
I'm not really.
The
My
Instagram link.
my sister is a bit.
Oh, came through.
My sister's a bit taller than most women. Like my sister's not huge. My sister's like 5'7", like 5'7", which is pretty significantly tall for a woman, right? What would you say?
This hair is not bad.
You look good there, bud.
If you zoom in, you can see it's like super spicy. You're just seeing black outline.
Can't zoom in.
Yeah, it's all like what was I doing? I guess it doesn't look that bad.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But what would you say is tall for a woman?
Anything taller than me?
5'10".
Yeah.
5'10's like super tall.
I think that's tall. I would say like 5'8's tall for a woman.
You haven't dated tall women. How tall Sarah?
Sarah's like 5'7", 5'8", and I think she's tall.
Yeah, she's pretty tall.
People think that Jordan's tall because of pictures. She's 5'4". She's not that tall.
Yeah, Kristen's 5'4", I think.
So if you're saying they're that age,
I should know that.
yeah, I was gonna say if you're saying that Jordan's how tall?
5'4".
5'4", and how tall's Kristen?
5'4".
Yeah. Look at this.
5'3",
The
5'4".
average height of a woman is 5'4". So
5'10's pretty tall.
yeah, 5'7", 5'8 is pretty tall for a woman. My sister is probably like 5'7" tops, maybe 5'6", 5'7". Her husband Hakeem,
She doesn't seem tall.
my sister, yeah, I mean 5'7", maybe 5'6", 5'7". Her husband Hakeem, 6 foot, like my height. I feel like I see eye to eye with him. You know their daughter, who's about to be 1, baby Lena, in a week she'll be 1. Would you believe that this kid's height is like off the charts? Like not even the 100th percentile. Like my sister said, it's like off the chart. The doctor's like, see this, here's a 100th percentile on that chart at the doctor's office. Your daughter's here. Her daughter is not even 1 and is 4 inches shorter than Ben. It's like 30 something inches. And where I was like, who in the family is a giant?
But everything balances out.
And then I was telling her about you. I go, well, I was like, Lori, Covino was like 5'10" in 4th grade or something.
I was like 10 pounds as a kid. I was a big kid.
Yeah, but all I kept thinking was like, is there anyone in your family that's just such an outlier as far as like height, weight, size, look? Like,
I
it's
mean,
like
it
one,
happens.
like it's a family of all Italians.
There's a lot
one,
of
there's
dudes
one
in the
redhead.
NBA that have small parents and they're just freaks.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, are they like in the Italian world, Spot? You probably see this. Every so often, there's an Italian family where one person is a redhead. It's like a whole family of all like
Well, I mean,
typical looking Italians, and there's one redhead.
Look at my ginger beard.
Yeah, you got the ginger beard. Your family does not look like
And
that.
we're all very fair skinned because we're, I don't know, the side of the family was fair skinned Italians.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I was like fascinated. I was like, wow, how tall is your kid gonna be?
Nah, I'm sure it'll bounce out.
Yeah, there's.
Jeez.
That's pretty
Yeah.
remarkable.
Pretty remarkable. Well, hey, not sure where you want to go from here. I could tell you about some of the stuff we didn't get to from my weekend that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But there's one story I want to get to first because it's just a matter of you talk about your hair and pictures and stuff. You ever have a scenario where, just the other day this happened. You had something on your face or in your teeth or something, and you were mad that no one told you.
Crumb on the side.
Oh, that's what it was. You had like a something white on your lip or something.
Yeah.
There's a story in baseball where San Francisco Giant Ross Stripling Of course they're going to Photoshop this out, but they did team picture day. And he had like sunflowers in his teeth. Not sunflower, like poppy seeds in his teeth. And none of his teammates said anything. So the pictures got developed for like the scoreboard. And you know when there's like no batting? There he is up there. Like right between his front teeth. The poppy seed. And he's like, no one told me. And it was like a joke on the team. And they're going to Photoshop it out or take a new picture. But if one of your coworkers or friends has some shit in their teeth, is that on them or do you always say it?
Depends if I like the guy or not.
I when I went to Coachella.
Yeah.
And I saw Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She had something in her teeth.
Really? Like you on stage, you're like, yeah, she got something in her mouth.
You know, they had the show a close up of her singing, and she's on the big screen.
She got a fucking piece of spinach on her
She
tooth.
had no, I swear she had a poppy seed in her teeth. I think I have a photo or video of it. Let me pull it up.
But to me, it's just one of those.
You gotta tell them.
It's just one of those like, really? No one told you? School picture day, you got some fucking, I don't know. You got some crust on your, you know, like sometimes, like Sarah will be like, all right, Emmy's ready for school. I'll drive her. And I'm like, Emmy, you got a big clump of oatmeal on your chin. Like, you didn't see this or mom didn't see it? Were you going to go to school with oatmeal on your chin? So if someone you know.
The worst is like a fucking whitehead that no one tells you about. And
Oh
then
my
you
God.
look in the mirror like, no one told me about it. How many people have noticed
There's
this?
nothing more like, oh man, I feel like shit when you just had a conversation, especially with like a good looking girl or something. And you go to the bathroom, you're like, oh my God, I got a blazing whitehead on my nose. Like,
the worst.
oh.
That's the most embarrassing.
So hey, check your shit. The end. If you see a stranger with their fly down, do you tell them?
Again, it depends.
What are you, Caucasian?
Yeah, it depends. Case
Sorry,
by
what?
case. I have a rule that I live by.
So over the weekend, I just wanted to backtrack to this because I thought it was interesting. I feel like you've said the same thing, and I'm so encouraging of it. I think you were saying like you're fascinated by Melody's bravery to do certain things that you'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, a kid doesn't have, I mean, they develop a fear, right? Like, they don't know what it's like to be made fun of yet. They don't have these
I
insecurities.
hate that. I hate
right?
that. I hate
This
that the
develops.
innocence is all there until insecurities are developed by other shitty
I have
kids.
videos of Melody singing her little fucking kid heart out in front of the classroom, like to her schoolmates. Like they did like a career day when she was like, I don't know, third grade or something. Yeah, I'm gonna be a rock star. Oh yeah? Well, you got the outfit on, you know, again, fearless.
Yeah.
Sing us a song. And like belting it out. And I got videos of this in front of the whole class. And they're like, yeah. I ask a kid to do that now. And
I
like,
remember-
no, I'm not going to do that.
I remember you and I went to the Calabasas farmers market.
Yeah.
On a totally gay date together, apparently. No, we were at the Calabasas farmers market with your daughter. And I remember you saying, yo, just keep an eye on Melody for a second. I forgot something. I have to go. So I was with your daughter for maybe a couple minutes. She stood on a park bench and started singing at the top of her lungs. And everyone around her was like, yeah, great job. And I was like, she was like a cute little kid that had
People
no
shoot
fear.
down their spirit, you know?
Yeah, and that's something I've noticed that a lot of kids have all this gusto, and you wonder like, where does it go? You know where it goes?
Beaten down by life.
It really is, Spot. It's like
I
when
used
you
that
realize
gusto.
your kids believe in
Some
all
little
things.
fucking nose picking piece of shit, you know, tells her she's ugly or she sucks or
Yeah, and that's
then they're
like
never the same.
Like I mean, like even when we were going to like see Bluey live, Emmy's like, Bluey's real, right? I'm like, oh, that's right. Kids still think like character. Like you go to Disney, kids think they're taking their picture with Mickey Mouse. It's they all, you know, they have an innocence about them, and you try to keep that innocence
But
alive.
again, not every kid is like that though, even to start. So you'll see glimpses of that as they go on. It's a matter of how much of that they retain and get back, right?
Yeah.
You know, Melody, she still won her school talent competition last year.
Yeah, the fact that she posted a video of her singing like Billie Eilish.
You're like, oh, there's that kid. I remember she's putting herself
like,
out
damn.
there. You know, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see
So, Spot,
them be fearless in that way.
I sent you some videos yesterday. Emmy had her first little school dance. It was like a fundraiser because you know the schools around here, charter schools, do fundraisers. It's not a private school. It's not a public school. It's a charter school. So they get by with their extra funding on fundraisers. They'll be like, hey, this Friday, all the 50% of the proceeds at, I don't know, California Pizza Kitchen goes to the school. hey, if you want to show up Saturday at the Starbucks on Sepulveda, half the money from 9 to noon goes to the school. They're always doing fundraisers, and we try to do them once in a while. But this one said they're holding it at the middle school. It was like a neon dance where they like wear a white shirt or something bright and neon, and they had black lights and, you know, the glow sticks, and the kids were dancing and playing.
That's cool.
And we went over to the middle school, and the little MC guy, that I guess probably one of the parents who was DJing, was playing like Miley Cyrus and Lizzo and all, like, you know, pop music. The kids make a circle, and the guy's like, all right, kids, whoever wants to get in the middle of the circle will take turns, and you can show off your moves. And I'm like, hilarious. And Emmy's like, I'm going to. And I'm like, you got moves? Like, yeah. I go, so wait, you're going to, and I encourage it completely. Like, yo, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. You're so brave. But imagine just, again, having no embarrassment because you don't know.
I would say even be careful on pointing it out, because then you might like psych them out.
Because sometimes you would tell me that you would say to Melody, like, you sure, Melody? Because you're like, that's awfully fucking brave.
You don't want to psych them out and then talk them out of it.
So the kids are in a circle, and Emmy goes in the middle and just starts dancing. And I couldn't have been more proud of just her fearlessness, because fucking even at a wedding, I'm a pretty secure, confident guy. I know I can't dance, but I wouldn't get in the middle of the circle because I don't have good moves where anyone would be like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm not getting in the middle and doing the worm. I would get in the middle and do fucking nothing.
Again, it's about, you know, the kids don't have these insecurities yet.
So take a look at Emmy at the school dance. Just so brazen. And then there's another video I sent you, Spot, and Emmy's already starting to do the floss. And I don't know where she learned it, but I'm like, does every kid just automatically start fucking doing the floss?
They develop floss Tourette's at a specific point.
Do you remember this age?
Yeah, of course. Where do they find the floss Tourette's?
I don't, dude. I don't know where they get it.
It's Katy Perry.
It must. All right, take a look. Yeah, they start doing the floss.
Floss Tourette's.
That's awesome.
I love that floor.
Is this? Yeah. Every kid starts doing the little floss moves.
Because she sees other kids doing it, probably.
Yeah. But the other video I sent, Spot, is the open circle. And I'm like, look at her. I'm like, what moves are these? Where did you learn these moves?
See it.
Take a look.
Hang on.
I mean, her dad did used to dance in the mirror. That is true. I would practice my moves.
Just dances with himself.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Hang on.
Bluey dances. I know that. That is true. Here you go. The guy's like, who wants to go? And he's like, I'll go.
That's great.
And I'm like,
She about to break dance?
She's got better moves than you.
Yeah,
all I'm
she
thinking
does.
is like, that was pretty brave.
Definitely has better
I don't
moves than
know.
you.
At that age, I don't think I ever would have fucking got in the middle of a circle.
That's
Even
what I'm saying. You got to have it to begin with,
Yeah.
right? Like, I probably would have never done that myself either.
middle of the circle. So, yeah, there is an episode of Bluey where they floss. I guess so. Because I was gonna say, every kid has the fucking floss turrets.
Yeah, but kids figured that out. Yeah, it's hilarious. That's great.
So,
It looked
there
like
you
a
go.
cool little dance, though.
Yeah, that was my weekend, and we went to Emmy's little dance, and I had a theory with Sarah, and not that she disagreed with me, but I was like, I'm not saying to make fake friends, but I was like, when you go to these school events, you start to see like, oh, there's the woman that like runs the PTA. Oh, there's the clique of a couple moms over there that clearly are like the yappy ones. I'm like, I feel like for like positioning reasons, I said to Sarah, I go, not that we need to be fake friends with anyone, but like keep an eye on knowing who's who, because these are probably also the people that are fucking heading up the Little League or dance classes or PTA events or school plays. I'm like, you almost sort of have to, the way you would network at work, I almost feel like there has to be a little bit of that at school, because all these things carry over to like activities and sports, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be on the outside looking
But
in.
I was never, you know what? I was always a familiar face, though, believe it or not. And, despite popular belief. But never like PTO dad. But I went to every fundraiser.
But what I'm saying is like you see, like you probably could in your mind picture the woman that was like running the PTA since kindergarten. It's like, yo, she's so like this woman is a bit overboard. Like every little event she's
Well,
there.
they have the time. Let's be honest and real about that. Like, and I appreciate it, and I think back to the women that I associate with that, and it's because they didn't do anything all day. And I don't mean that by any amount of disrespect whatsoever.
But I see
But it's a wonderful thing. You need those people.
Oh yeah, they're all very.
Yeah.
Some of them are very Stepford wife looking.
One I like cherished, because she gave so much of her time and her love to these kids.
Yeah, and I'm always looking at like, man, these are the people running things. I'm like, Sarah, we should probably like be kind to these people because they are running and they're nice people, but they're also the ones sort of like for the next 10 plus years of your life, they're probably the ones going to be making like annoying decisions on things.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you almost have to network almost like it's a job at
I don't
times.
say you need to be their friends, but you need
to be in the know of who they are and introduce yourself.
I've even said this on the show. Like I'm there as Melody's representation a lot of times.
Yeah.
Hey, someone here cares about her. Hey, someone here, represents my kid. Hey, you're not going to overlook her because I'm around and I care and
That's what I'm saying.
Know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm not trying to be friends with them, but I want them to know that I'm there and I'm
here.
Someone is having her back in that moment.
I think that's just like a dynamic that I'm still getting used to. So maybe I'm totally wrong, but there is a part of me, Sarah's like, I think you're overthinking it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I do remember like the PTA moms and the dad cliques that would like coach Little League. I'm like, there are circles. I'm not saying we need to, I don't need new bullshit friends, but I'm saying we should.
A lot of the circles though out here are cultural circles too, right? Like you're going to see a lot of like, Persian families stick together, Jewish families stick together.
Emmy has a little Persian friend.
Yeah.
And we're convinced that her parents don't want to hang out with anyone. Because every time Emmy even suggests, like, give me a name. I don't want to call it.
By the way, I don't think that's like latent racism. It's like they come from similar backgrounds, so they all party and hang the same way.
Every time
they might
Emmy
be from the same neighborhood, they all eat the same foods.
Let's say her name is Kimmy. Like every time Emmy's like, I want to do a play date with Kimmy. I see the Persian mom or dad like, we'll talk another time.
It's
and
wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm like, I don't think they want to hang with us. I feel like they don't want to hang. Every time Emmy suggests something, I feel like the parents just dip away. They do the G-Court dip away every time. Like anytime a play date is talked about, this Persian family does the G-Court dip away. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think they want to hang with anyone.
I don't know.
So that was my weekend. School dance. And
I was trying to find a video of the evolution of where it goes because I told the story maybe a month ago of Melody in the circle at a recent dance. And I'm like, wow, because you see a little glimpse of that kid again.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, how bold of you. But instead I found a video of Spot dancing. There it is. He asked if Melody did it.
But she can. Melody, you can floss, but Spot can't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How old is she there?
Those were the days.
I don't know.
So tiny. That was 20?
That was at our old studio.
Probably like 8?
Shit.
So I can't find the actual because these kids get wild, dude.
Yeah,
I
they
think you'd be
do.
surprised to see how wild the dance parties get. You're like, oh shit, wait a second, that's a school dance? And again, she's only in middle school. I'm like, oh, fuck.
People want to know. People want to know as far as follow-up reasons. Have you ever bumped into the dad again that cooked you the expensive steak and made you a beautiful meal in his yard?
No. I've seen his kid again though.
Okay,
but I haven't seen him. Yeah, no. But Melody's, still friendly with that kid.
I will say though, you see some of the moms at the school dance, and you're like, she likes attention. Like you can tell that some of the moms like attention.
Yeah, what was that story you were going to tell about? Like, did you say that on Fox? Or
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Oh, you say it for Fox? Or
Yeah,
what?
maybe. I'm just saying there are moms that I'm like, a mom's like dancing and like getting into it at a school dance, and she's not with a guy, and maybe she's a single mom. I feel like she's throwing it out there.
Maybe. I mean, case
No?
by case.
I
I'd
mean,
have
yeah,
to
she's
see.
looking for a dad.
I don't know.
She's looking for who her dad.
I never had that experience that I was aware of. For real.
Okay.
Like I never noticed a mom just throwing it out there.
I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by this. I think maybe you were in a different mindset with your ex-wife or something, but you always talk about how like you don't remember there being any hot moms at your school, and I'm like, you live in the
these
valley.
frumpy moms don't think they got a shot with this guy.
Frumpy.
They're like, he must be like, think he's like too young for me or something.
I don't know.
Eric.
I look at it and I still feel like, I lucked out with Sarah. But there are other moms. Like at this like little dance, I'm like, yeah, look at her. Like some mom showed up in like a tight, bright, I told you it's a neon party. Like a tight, bright yellow like tank top. And like her titties were blazing. I'm like,
titties blazing.
Look at Tits McGee over there.
Yeah, Tits McGee.
And I'm like, yeah, look at her. And there'd be another mom and like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised you never thought there were hot moms in the school.
Never.
Which
Not
is
one.
wild. You lived in Woodland Hills, Calabasas area, which is
Nobody's
where
in the
like
same
hot
school
moms
system.
look. That's a hot mom area.
Never
A
noticed.
hot mom bed.
Not anyone I would risk it for, I can tell you that.
Well, there's your answer. Not someone you would risk it for, but you can
I mean,
acknowledge.
she's a decent looking lady. They're old ladies to me. Not interested.
I mean, you are dating someone 15 years younger than you.
Yeah, but I mean, I just still, never even thought of it that way.
Not to call him out, but you did send us a picture yesterday, and I feel like it was on your mind, and I know you don't want to expose this guy on the show.
I'm not going to do that.
But Covino showed me a picture of a guy that is his age that he knew from back in the day.
Well, someone I graduated with selling a birthday, so celebrating a birthday, so their pictures were on social media. Like, hey, happy birthday, Bart.
And
I'm
Covino's
fuck,
like,
I graduated with
Covino
Bart.
sent me a picture of
Yeah.
a guy.
Yeah.
And he's like,
You
this
would
guy.
think he was a 75-year-old butcher from your neighborhood.
Because Covino hit me up and he goes, this guy graduated with me. And he looked like he was 65, 70 years old.
there's no
And I
doubt.
said, Covino, does that make you feel good or bad? Does it make you feel good because you look and feel young? Or does it make you feel bad knowing that while you look good, you and that guy have the same insides because you're both like in your mid-40s?
I said it made me feel like shit because I'm the same age. The fact that I'm even anywhere near that guy on the timeline of life makes me fucking depressed. God. So, yeah, you could hide it and do your best, but that's the truth deep down.
Yeah.
That guy was my truth. That fired me down.
Man, that will fire you down.
Yeah.
That guy's my age.
Yeah, I'm not going to post a picture, but just imagine some old guy. You're like, wait, that guy's my age? That sucks.
Didn't have
But
gray
everybody's
hair.
age is different.
He didn't have gray hair. He had white hair.
Yeah. But he just looked old. He looked like an old guy.
Well,
But as far as hot moms, I mean, again, it's just luck of the draw. I never noticed them, really. I really never did. Plus, you're never seeing these people at their best. They're rolling out of bed, taking their kid to school. They're in their mom getup, their little like mom sweater on, acting like they're cold, waiting for their kid. They're like a hot
I hear
moment.
you. I feel like in the morning during drop off, I take a look around, and again, I told you there's a lot of people that have very unlimited time in the morning where I'm like, drop off, gotta run. I feel like it's a social setting. Like I feel like people are all standing around chit chat with their coffees. I'm like, I guess none of these people work in the morning. Can't. They're all chit chatting.
There's a lot of people that don't. I don't know how they get by.
Well, hey, what are you gonna do? So one last thing for my weekend, and then we'll move on. I said it yesterday on Fox, and I was just fascinated because one of our coworkers had never gone in his life. I took the kids to hibachi for the first time.
By the way, don't skip over that because that is absurd. There's absurd things that I hear every once in a while. Like you never saw The Wizard of Oz ever.
Or you never saw this, or you never did this.
Wait, you never what? You never went to blank. For a grown ass dude to say he'd never been to a hibachi place in his life, I'm like, did your parents love you? I mean, that's like absurd.
I don't know if I went as a kid, but I went plenty of times as a teenager
That's
in my
absurd.
20s and 30s. And so I took the kids to hibachi.
You never went on a date and fucking girl was like, let's go to never, nothing.
Onion
birthday
volcano.
party,
I mean,
something. Give me a break. That's odd. So, because we like the guy, we said on Fox Sports Radio, like, yo, we got to go, man. It's a life changer because I still love that shit. If you want to see my childhood wonderment come to life, take me to hibachi. I still love that shit as much as I did as a child. Melody and I went for Valentine's Day, belated Valentine's Day because I was in Hawaii.
Danny G said something off the air yesterday. What happened? Don't you feel like back in the day, well, you're not a shrimp guy, so you don't care, but don't you feel like back in the day they used to give everyone a free shrimp appetizer?
I would get
At a hibachi place?
Yeah.
Maybe maybe shellfish allergies kind of.
Maybe they're just a little more shellfish than they used to be.
There it is.
Yeah, maybe. All I know is that I did not get shrimp, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's why I was like, someone said, oh, when they flipped the shrimp tails in their hat or pocket. I'm like, oh, you know what? They didn't do that. I'm like, think about it. They didn't give us a little free shrimp appetizer, but I think if you need a date night or you're going somewhere, I highly recommend Hibachi. I really do. I mean, I know it's
the best.
It's the same price as a nice restaurant, but you're just getting so much fun and action. For instance, what is an entree? $35, $40?
Well, it's like you're getting good food. They're cooking it in front of you, right? I'm not saying it's healthy by any means, but I mean, you can tell them to fucking lay off the soy sauce. But you're seeing them prepare it, and they're putting on a show. For me, it's like,
yeah,
wow, I got a free show out of this.
To me, it's fantastic. I'm always loving the hibachi vibes. That Spot, I just sent you a video of our guy. You tell me if you think this guy would have flown for you, because I feel like he was all right.
Well, I couldn't say this on Fox, but nothing's more misleading. You know, it's interesting how you could say, yeah, it was a nerdy white guy, so it doesn't bring the same vibe, because there's not that many ethnicities you can call out and feel okay about it.
Yeah, which is why I said nerdy.
Yeah, but if you say that, it's okay. There's something that's non-authentic about when it's not an Asian guy. You're like, fuck, I didn't pay for a Dominican dude to do this in front of me.
Yeah, when Danny G said Mexican dude, my butthole tightened up.
Yeah.
Like Danny G goes, yeah, last time I was at Hibachi, it wasn't a Japanese guy, it was some Mexican dude. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like,
he's like, can you squint a little more just for the sake of it?
I was like, I said
What?
white, I said white guy because I know no one's gonna get mad at white guy.
Yeah. Like you have to really dance these lines, especially in today's world. But it's not the same. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It's like imagine an Asian guy bringing you your Mexican food, or doing your tableside guac. It's not the fucking same. You're going there for the authentic feel of like that's what it is.
I'm so glad.
I appreciate the Japanese guy.
I'm sort of glad though that Emmy's first hibachi experience wasn't the best guy, because now
there's more to come.
There's more. There could be more. Like this guy laid off some of the tricks, but here, take a look at. This is Emmy seeing the onion volcano for the first time, and the guy really didn't do the choo-choo train. You know how a lot of times he then moves it into a choo-choo train?
I mean, come on, you gotta do it for the kids.
Bad training.
Yeah.
Watch your eyebrows, really expensive on the CBS.
Look at that magical experience.
Yeah.
What's that extra ring of onion there? He just like lit the whole grill on fire.
Yeah, like he like sort of half-assed the onion volcano, and I was like, oh yeah, but meanwhile I'm like, come on, dude.
It's like he just doused it in fire.
I know.
It's not even a volcano. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah. I pumped it up, but honestly, he was there.
You're supposed to, so you light it, it has the steam coming out, and then you catch the steam on fire, and it's like a
choo-choo train, and you push it along.
But it's like a tunnel of fire.
Yeah.
It's a tunnel of fire.
EA hit us up saying the last hibachi guy looked like Nacho Libre. It wasn't the same thing. Like, yeah, my guy looked like Vato Loco from the barrio. So it's like, I don't know.
It sounds racist. It's not meant to be. It's just like you're going there for the experience. It's like going to Hawaii and seeing a bunch of white girls do the hula. That's not what you want to fucking see.
No, you want to see Hawaiians.
Yeah, exactly. So when I'm at the Japanese hibachi place, I want the hibachi guy to look like Benihana, not like fucking Jose Tejas.
Yeah. So there you go. That was my weekend. Ta-da! Nothing too exciting. Emmy school dance, and we had hibachi.
Nice.
And you know what? Like I said, the last few days, even yesterday, rained again. It's
raining this morning. It's been raining for 14 days straight now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Is that an actual fact?
No, but it probably like 6-7 days now straight. But I think today's going to clear up.
Yeah, no, it's going to be clear for the next few days.
Good.
Oh, wow, good.
Things need to dry up here.
Still going to be cold
wet.
though.
You want to
before we move on, I want to like clear some space up. So can we do something we call mail time?
Sure.
Mail time.
I've been wanting to do this for 2 days.
Oh, you want to get the mail action going?
No, I want to sit with the piles of stuff in front of me for 3 more days. Thank you guys again. Our address is at CovinoandRich.com. We got merch. We got maybe some new CNR bundles coming soon. Everything at CovinoandRich.com.
Yep, come on. Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When
What's that face?
something potent in here, bro. Thank you guys again. We have the best listeners, friends. You know, I never say fans. Who the fuck are you? Nothing grinds my asshole more than when I see nobodies talk about their fans. It's like that Farrah Abraham clip you sent me. She's like, yeah, I was on a celebrity sex
Spot,
tape.
have you seen that clip?
No.
I'm going to send you a really funny clip real quick.
Yeah, all right. I won't give it up. But I see people who are like nobodies.
From
And
Nowhereville.
I just want to say that I love all my fans. Like, fans? Slow down. You're not Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you know
So,
what's fans?
our listeners
Beyonce has fans.
Yeah, our listeners, our friends. I don't know, man. You guys are awesome. If I ever say fans, trust me, it's a fucking slip.
So Spotty Boy, I just sent you a Facebook link.
Yo, we got 2 bags of coffee.
Oh, dude, that's perfect timing because I just got shitty coffee from
It's a little
from
messy.
Aldi, so we need good coffee.
What shitty coffee did you get from Aldi?
It's like a regular donut brand. I'd say it was like donut coffee.
I don't know. It's 100% Colombian coffee, whole bean grounded. Called Parse, P-A-R-C-E. Parse Coffee Roasters.
What's it say?
Awesome, brother.
Covino, the show, Covino Rich and Spot. And, there's a note. There it is. Oh, this one's just for you, Spot.
Yeah, it is.
Gentlemen, my
Butthole.
You want me to read that?
latest victim, girlfriend, LOL, Nelly, shout out to Rich's dad, is Colombian.
Oh.
To celebrate our first Valentine's Day, puppy, I took her from our hometown in Naples, Florida, to Sunrise, Florida on the East Coast to see Andrea Bocelli.
Hey, whoa.
Totally amazing. Go if you can at the Florida Live Arena before the show. I found a Colombian restaurant for us, and she was able to enjoy an authentic home-style scratch cooked meal that she totally appreciated. Upon cashing our check, I noticed these 2 different Colombian coffees. I purchased the whole bean coffee specifically for Christian.
Because I love whole bean coffee. I grind my own.
Really?
Spot grinds a lot.
Yeah. Is that why you're on Grindr all the time?
I have a grinder.
Oh.
You do too, Rich. You just never know use it.
I know he grinds his own beans.
I do.
As do I.
No, you
And
don't.
the Parse Blend, already grounded coffee for the show, Covino Rich and Spot. No crappy t-shirts this time.
If you're not going to grind those...
Oh, it's Tom Popoli.
Tom Popoli.
I love Tom Popoli.
He's dating a hot Colombian.
Is he
girl.
dating Juanita Valdez?
His new victim?
He's dating Shakira, who
Juanita Valdez.
Tom Popoli.
Shakira, who said her
Give me my
ex-husband,
coffee.
who talking shit about her ex-husband.
Give me my
Put it
coffee.
here. But that was very nice of you.
I don't
And
want that
believe
bag.
you me, we're going to use it.
No, I don't want that bag. Give me the coffee.
Here.
I don't want that.
Try not to make a mess.
Dude, this coffee grinds. Chill.
Oh, are there?
Yeah. But that was awesome, Tom. Thank you. Tom
Spill coffee on
Popoli. Guy has the hair of a young Scott Stapp, that guy. He actually cut his hair. Tom Popoli. What is this? New York Yankees 25-time World Championship game information. Was it a schedule or something?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. What do you got there?
Oh. What in the hell is this? All right, let's see. Covino.
Oh.
This is dirt/clay from the field at Yankee Stadium. Game 1 of the 2000 World Series. I was at the game with my brother, ESPN, and scooped some up when I went down, put it in my shoe. So this is not only from the field, it was in his shoe.
Wow.
This has been in my drawer for 20 years. I figured you might appreciate it. Keep rocking. Does that say Julio? Who's this from?
I don't know.
Look at this. Dirt from the actual Yankee Stadium.
Oh.
2000.
From the old Yankee
The old
Stadium.
Yankee
From
Stadium.
the old Yankee Stadium.
That's very nice.
Oh, wait. And this is the Game 1 2000 World Series. Little how do you do?
Look at that.
That's really cool.
very sweet.
That's super dope. Thank
Keep
wow.
rocking. Julio?
Yeah, it doesn't really.
Suarez. Jules. Jinky.
Does it say Suarez?
I don't know. No, it's just...
Oh, well, thank you so much,
Juanita.
man. Very nice of you guys. That's really cool. And we had something from Jim Ramsey. Oh, wait. Is that from Jim Ramsey?
What's the note say?
Is that from Jim? Because he said that he sent us something.
that might be Jim.
Is that a Jim?
Spot, I'm going to do
thanks
one here.
So much. Oh, this is from Chris again. Chris Abate. He said, thanks so much for talking about our book.
Jim. Are you guys?
You think that is a very clear Jim? You're ridiculous.
That says Sui.
Looks like Julio to me.
That says Sui.
By the way, Chris Abate, Words for Flying, said, thanks so much for referencing his book last time. Remember he wrote all these cool poems and everything?
Yeah.
He sent us 2 more, so we all had our own copies.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, buddy.
It's definitely a Sui.
Abate, Chris Abate. Chris, thank you. Words for Flying.
It's too blurry. Sorry.
That's really nice of you.
Are you happy that you now have Jim Ramsey's shoe dirt?
I do. Yeah, I am.
It's pretty awesome.
And then I saw that a few other people did say Spot. They sent us something recently, so we'll get to it eventually.
I don't know.
Our PO box is it's down the street, so we don't hit it all the time. But thank you guys. You're the best.
When there's traffic,
You're the best fans.
When there's a lot of traffic, I can't make it.
Anyway, continue. See, now we can make some room. Now we can drink some good coffee.
Now, you want to get controversial?
Snort those beans.
Of course. That's why we got our Patreon.
How do you guys feel about COVID coming from China,
For real?
leaked from a lab? Do you think that all the people that insulted and mocked the people that thought that was a possibility are owed an apology now? You think it's like, yeah, whatever. Time's
I mean, you got to, I don't know the update.
Didn't we all know it was leaked from a lab in China?
I mean, I know there was always speculation.
I mean, anyone that said that Spot was considered like
China.
a weird conspiracy theorist. And remember, Donald Trump's like, the China virus. And everyone's like, you're racist. And everyone's like, no, it's
that's where it comes from.
like animals or some of the. They've announced that they've concluded that the virus likely came from a lab leak in China.
Not a stupid armadillo.
No, not
Whatever
a
the
stupid
fuck that
armadillo.
animal was that we never heard of.
When an armadillo fucked a rabbit.
What was the name of that stupid animal?
A bat with an armadillo and a.
Nope. There was a specific animal they said it came from.
Huh.
That looked like an armadillo.
I mean, you could say you thought we already knew that, but the whole point is.
I mean, I've been laboring under that delusion.
I don't think people thought it wasn't a possibility, but anytime that was said.
You said they confirmed. I mean, is this official
the Energy
news?
Department.
Yeah.
Who's they?
And Wall Street Journal, CNN.
Who did? Sam Smith? Sam Smith confirmed?
According to Wall Street Journal, Fox, Forbes,
confirmed.
everywhere. COVID lab leak likely from the Energy Department. And it went from, according to Forbes, there's a great article. And I think this comes down to, a pangolin, right? Isn't that the animal?
Yep.
Timeline.
Forbes.
How the lab leak origin story went from crazy conspiracy theory to now a government debacle on how to handle it. The truth is, there were politicians and pundits and reporters and people that said this, and they were called like crazy conspiracy theorists and how they were un-American and how they were this and how they were racist and xenophobic and all, you know. They were slinging names at all these people.
Roseanne Barr talks a lot about that on her new conservative, Fox comedy special. She's like, all the things that she got criticized for talking about came to be true for the most part.
So if there's particularly one guy. Let me see if they got his name right.
I didn't watch the Roseanne special. I just see clips of this shit.
Like there's reporters.
But if I did, who cares?
There's reporters and people and politicians that were shit on for saying this. So
Yeah.
the point is, do we owe those people an apology or no? Or let's say we realize the reality is that, masks really didn't do that much. And by the way, is it weird when you still see that one rando person wearing a mask? What are you assuming?
Maybe they're sick.
Yeah, that they're sick maybe.
No,
or
but if
that
I
they're
saw,
a
like,
weirdo.
we're
I
at
think
that-
there's a lot of kids that developed
Mask.
an insecurity of taking it off because they felt more secure wearing it. I see kids at Melody School.
We went to
wearing a
that.
mask. I'm like, what the fuck's this deal?
We went to that school dance and there was a family, mom, dad, 2 kids, all wearing masks. And my thought was, fucking sit it out. Or what are you wearing a mask at a stand? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you look like a fucking weirdo now.
I think kids
it's
just
a
grew so
fucking-
accustomed to hiding behind it
We need a mask.
that a lot of these kids just still wear it because they feel more comfortable now.
So you got to ask yourself,
Fuck these kids up.
For all the things we got wrong, right? Because there were the liberal side of things, the liberal media.
Fuck your kids.
The liberal media made you feel like everything COVID related, if you resisted or questioned it, you were like un-American or you were a piece of shit or you were racist or anything. Now when things are starting to come out more and more, here's a next level conspiracy, because I'm not saying I believe this, but what if some of these random young people with heart issues is finally linked to like, well, the vaccine might be, what would happen then? They can never admit that, because if they did, wouldn't that just honestly enable and justify all the anti-vaxxers for the last 3 years? Like if all these stats are true, and I don't care enough to look into the research between you and I, but when they're like, for the last 10 years, this many athletes like dropped dead or had a heart problem. In the last couple of years, it's 1,600 athletes.
I think it's case by case. I think, much like the virus had a different effect on everybody.
What about when Damar Hamlin?
Vaccines had different effects on everybody.
What about when Damar Hamlin in his interview?
Tell me that some people's immune systems weren't compromised from those boosters or whatever. Give me a break.
If you're telling me Damar Hamlin in that interview with Michael Strahan, when they're like, "Hey, what exactly happened?" and he's like, "Yeah, I really can't. I shouldn't talk about it." You don't think that left another window open for people to be like, "What do you mean you can't talk about it?" So you're saying it's not the hit to your chest and heart? Like, do you realize he left a window open by giving that awkward answer? Spot, do you know what I'm speaking of?
Yes.
You don't think by not answering it and being really fucking awkward? First of all, odd that Strahan and ABC would have kept that in the interview.
Maybe they wanted to build the speculation.
But you don't think that alone has people chatting? All I'm saying is that all right, like the Dixie Chicks. Remember they criticized the war when President Bush and everyone shit on them, and all these years later, it's almost like, yeah, we should probably we were probably wrong for hating on the Dixie Chicks, right? When people appear possibly wrong or controversial in the moment, but when you look back and say, you know what? They were actually right. How do you handle that in life is what I'm asking.
I mean, I think you handle it by not sitting on your high horse and
doubling down, or do you double down
on things what makes you so certain about it? And I think you handle it by not being so judgy moving forward. That's what I think. What are you gonna do? Go back and fucking apologize to the Dixie Chicks? Go back and apologize to everyone who speculated on the vaccine? You move forward and be like, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't. I'm not going to be such a judgy, pretentious asshole moving forward.
I saw Aaron Rodgers with Bill Maher. I think it's a good watch. It's a couple months ago, I think. But Spot, did you watch that? Being that you're a Bill Maher guy,
I haven't watched it yet. No.
He does that like it's like a video podcast, and he sat down with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers, I thought came across pretty good. He's like, people think he's like a wackadoo, but he's like, listen, I just don't think the government should tell me what to do with my body or a woman what to do with her body or this. And he's like, I just like to question things, and people don't like that I like to question things. They want me to just play football and like shut up. Aaron Rodgers, he's a weird dude, but it's just interesting. The more we learn, do you go back and take COVID out of it? When we learn something new, do you go back and apologize to the people that were right in anything in life? Or is it like, missed the moment?
But even if it's proven that it wasn't the safest option, there will be people that defend it, or
like Casey said,
there will be people that won't believe that.
But even when the narrative changes, do you remember originally, like we forget some of this stuff, but do you remember originally it was like, if you get the vaccine, don't worry, you can't transmit the virus. And then very quick, it was like, well, if you had the vaccine, correction, you could transmit the virus. It's like, well,
yeah, the rules were changing all the time because we were learning more information.
The initial thing was
so matter of fact about everything.
The initial thing was get the vaccine to protect the old people around you, because if you get the vaccine, you can't transmit it. And then we realized, oh, you can. I just at this point, you got to hope that there's no crazy long-term effects on.
Yeah. Again, I think it's case by case. I think it's going to be different for everybody.
There was a
from
stat,
what we're seeing.
There was a stat that said post-COVID, like some abnormally low number of people trust anything they read or see on the news media. Like the media is so untrusted right now that it's almost odd. Like I think the number, no joke, was like 20-something% of people said they trusted the media. It's a weird thing, man. Didn't help. Donald Trump told everyone the media was a bunch of liars.
And remember, around this time too, you were starting to witness, how algorithms could totally mold your thoughts, right? And back up your beliefs. Like, why am I seeing these stories and other people are seeing other stories?
People never apologize. Andrew brings up a good point. People never apologize when they're wrong. They just move along and assume people will forget.
True.
Like
in everything.
You might
Weatherman, sports broadcasting, news stories like this.
I mean, you got to ask yourself.
I mean, Dave Portnoy admits when he's wrong. That's about it.
Yeah. You got to ask yourself. You might say, well, it's a personal
Dave
question.
Portnoy swore that Tommy Fury didn't have a chance. And he admitted that he was wrong about it.
Oh, yeah. He said he was never been more wrong. I felt him on that because I felt the same way. I was convinced. I was like, yo, look, Jake Paul's going to kill him. Spot, at this stage of the game, it's a personal question, but are you getting any more boosters? I never got any of that. Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Is that still like in your wheelhouse?
I mean, I still get a flu shot every year.
I guess
But
so.
he was also a guy that got a flu shot every year.
I was going to say, like,
I never got a flu shot in my life.
I got the vaccine, the two, what is it? Was it Pfizer, right? Moderna. I got the 2 shots, but that's like years ago now. Like, I haven't got a booster and don't plan on getting any boosters. So does that, like, is anyone, do you think the majority of the population moving forward is like every 6 months? I don't know anyone's getting boosters anymore. Feels like it's old news. Even the president said, starting in May, it's no longer considered any type of emergency.
If it's recommended.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting thought. That's all I thought.
So basically,
it's a
this
news
all
headline.
comes
So
from, the fact that they're saying meaning Forbes in this article.
Yeah.
They're confirming that it came from a Chinese
nothing's
lab.
100 confirmed, but all their research is showing it's the main headline now that the COVID lab leak. The COVID lab leak went from a conspiracy theory that maniacs thought to like, yeah, it's the likely theory now. And the government's trying to figure out, well, how do I handle something that we thought was ridiculous? And now it's turning out, oh, that's actually sort of true.
I think the 3 of us were a good case study for the vaccine.
No, I think it is a case study of how everything worked.
Everything's arbitrary, yeah.
Different for everybody.
If you use the control of when each of us got the vaccine and when all of us caught COVID at the same time, Rich, you had it for a very short time.
Yeah.
I had it for like a week or so, and Covino went to the hospital.
How many times do you think you've had COVID?
He never had it. I was at the end of my 6 months, and he got it like 2 months earlier. So
Realistically, how many times do you think you had COVID? I'm going to guess 3 or 4. What would you say?
No.
Meaning like you had a sniffles for a couple of days, but if you took a test, you would have been like, oh, fuck, I have COVID, but you were maybe a strain that was light. And, when you got little kids, everyone's always sick, and you've been sick, I've been sick. Spot had a cough for like a month and a half. You don't think one of us had COVID and it was just like, yeah, fuck it? You're testing all the time?
It's possible,
You're not testing all the time. When was the last time you tested yourself?
Like twice.
Years ago?
No, like a few months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not as careless as you.
How's that careless?
Because you don't care.
If you have the sniffles and you're not feeling well, do you take a COVID test?
Because I don't want to get you sick if I had COVID. And
why would you?
When you send kids back to school, they want to make sure that they're fucking not sick.
Yeah, I take COVID tests periodically. Every time I'm like really sick, I'll just take a home test.
Yeah, same.
I don't know. I never know if it's a cold, COVID, flu. You never know.
That's why you also got us
care.
Sick. Yeah, because you don't care.
You don't care.
Yeah,
like you didn't really care about us when you gave us COVID.
Everyone was bound to get. I don't know anyone that didn't get it.
Yeah, you didn't care about us.
No, your attitude's off on that, bro.
You didn't care about us. You didn't give us any warning. You didn't tell us that anyone was sick. You didn't care about us in the height of COVID.
Yeah, I just feel like
because you didn't believe in it. You didn't care about us. You sent this guy to the hospital.
Yeah, I sent Covino to the hospital.
I mean, you did.
Well, I've taken 2 COVID tests in the past 3 months. I've given Melody 2 home tests. I forget why. One's probably because I felt like shit. And then I forget the other reason. Because Melody had COVID. So I wanted to double check.
Rashawn saying, never tested positive for COVID. Yeah, I mean, some people, it's almost like never tested positive for something, But how many times do you think you may have had something, but your
think it's
symptoms were so like if you woke up for a couple days in a row and you were congested and feel a little crappy, you could have very well just had a super mild case of COVID and like, yeah, I got the sniffles.
Maybe.
Possible.
So I just think at this stage of the game, that's how it's sort of categorized. Like a kid in school has COVID now, they don't even do anything. Like they don't tell the classroom like everyone should get tested and bring a test back. Like it's just sort of like, you know.
I still get alerts. I still get emails.
Really?
I've only gotten one where it's like someone you may have come in contact with has COVID through the phone. That's only happened once. But outside of the one time I had it, I haven't had it since.
That you know is what we're
Yes.
saying.
I know,
What
but
I'm
I've
saying,
also been,
what
but
you
I've
know.
also been up on my boosters.
So what are you really saying? That a lot of these fucking like super liberal booster heroes should fucking feel embarrassed?
I think the people that dismissed everything should feel a little embarrassed, but they won't do anything. And I'm not saying all the conspiracy people are right. What I'm saying is everyone was so quick to be like, wait, you think it leaked from a lab in China? You fucking crazy conspiracy wacko? It's like, fast forward 3 years later, looks like it came from a lab in China.
Do
the people that were called wacko jerk-offs, do they get a little, yes, you know?
I don't know. I just feel like I've been laboring under that delusion the entire time. Maybe because I forgot about it, tucked it in the back of my brain, but I just assumed it came from China, like a lab in China. That's what
It was
I
always a
assumed.
possibility.
But that's what I always assumed.
Really?
So I feel like this isn't news to me because I always assumed that, even though it was never corroborated. Maybe I thought it was.
Yeah, you know what? And maybe some people
But in
thought
my
that.
mind-
Yeah, what was
I
released
thought
when
it
they
came
shot
from
that
a-
balloon down recently?
Right?
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
it's a big headline. That's why I bring it up. We can move on, but
maybe
it's
there's where there's smoke, there's fire, and maybe not everything's a big crazy conspiracy. Maybe there is some
I think you
truth
wonder
to some of this stuff
if it is
sometimes.
China's fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone- I saw someone on- I saw someone-
I'm reading feedback. Raymond's saying a lot of people died, bro. Yeah, a lot of people we know died too. So we're not saying it wasn't fake. We're just saying that it was deliberate. That it came from
No,
a
not
lab.
deliberate. It doesn't mean it was leaked on purpose. Meaning like
Oh yeah.
like
You think it was
a
an
leak like
accident?
a leaked nudie shot is deliberate. Like actually let's compare it to a nudie shot. It could be a leak like, yo, you're mad at your ex and you're a piece of shit, so you like leaked her nudie picture online. Or someone could have hacked your phone and you're like, oh fuck, I accidentally. They're saying it
So are
was
you
like an
saying China
accidental
did it
leak.
accidental.
It was
or
an
China
accident. They're saying
did
it insinuates
as sort of like some sort of warfare.
No. The insinuation is that the COVID lab accidentally leaked something.
I always assumed that was it.
No, but the consensus spot in public was that it came from like a bat or a little penguin. What is it? Pangolin or some shit like that.
I feel like that was like a weak story.
Well,
Meaning like
I thought that was the possibility.
Yeah, but
we
I
were
feel
calling
like
it the Wuhan.
So I saw a news thing.
Well,
and
Wuhan is where the lab is.
You know how you're not allowed to say anything bad about another culture because you're immediately called racist? I saw a news show in a panel that was saying the Chinese are not very honest when it comes to international affairs, right? And my butthole clenched up. I'm like, what'd he say? But I'm like, he's like, well, no, you're allowed to say something like that. Like, hey, the Chinese government hasn't always been very honest. That's not racist. That's true. Like, if the Chinese seem to lie a lot.
Yeah, just never play mahjong with a Chinese person. They lie the whole time.
Point is, if it was a leak from a China lab and they fucked it up and the Chinese are responsible for a couple of years of our life, economically and everything, getting destroyed, you don't think they owe the rest of the world something? Or is that a crazy thought?
I don't believe in reparations, bro.
I'm saying, like, you don't think there's some type of, like, it should just be like, all right, China, you're bad. You destroyed the global economy because you were careless. You don't think there should be any international slap on the wrist or something? Like some trade deals or so? You think China's just like, yep, oopsie daisy.
I don't know, man. I don't have an answer for that one.
I'm just asking. That's all.
Are is everyone else's hands clean of mistakes?
Whoopsie doodle.
You know, it's the U.S. clean on. I don't know. I don't know the answers to these things on everything. When it comes to international affairs, I don't know. How clean are our hands? So it does suck. I'm more interested in, like, you know, how do you feel pointing the finger at everybody? Like you had all the right answers all along.
Yeah. That's sort of the bigger point that I like too, bud.
I just love how everybody knows. Everybody knows. It's like, how do you know?
Nobody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Because you read it somewhere. How do they know?
Well, hey, I saw some, you could say smart guy or wackadoo on Rogan or TikTok or Instagram somewhere, and he was saying how he thinks that democracy as we know it could end in our lifetime. Like if things continue to go down the path they're going down, as far as like separation of wealth, resources, there's a lot of, there's, food chain things down the pike that might affect. And he's saying like he wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of revolution or something in the next 10 plus years. It's a scary thought.
I think the stance should be a little stronger. I don't think you posed the question. I think you say, if you were pointing fingers at people for making decisions that was best for them at the time, you should be embarrassed. That's what I think. I'll say it.
Yeah.
For everyone that came down on a person like me, I was like, yeah, man, I don't feel right about it. I just don't. Sorry. I'm going to do my best to be safe and be responsible and not pass it along and stay out of everybody's way. And everyone that pointed their finger at me or anyone like me, calling me careless or un-American or whatever the fuck, or wackadoodle or anything like that, you could all suck my ball sack. Did I lose credibility by saying that? You should all be embarrassed and ashamed of yourselves.
There it is.
How about that?
Because no one had the right answers.
Because you didn't have
still
shit.
Does.
All you had was your fucking high horse to sit on because you thought you were doing the right thing.
With your fucking I got vaxxed sticker.
That's it. Yeah, you voted. Good for you.
So there you have it. There you have it. Just a
I don't want.
headline.
I wouldn't expect an apology, but you should be embarrassed.
It's a good headline. Gets people talking. Chinese lab.
If that's true, and I don't know what to believe, so I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know what Rich is saying is fucking horse shit. I don't know. I'll admit I don't know. But if I don't know, then I'm not going to fucking run and get some injections I don't know about either. Not. I never did it ever. Why would I do it now?
But if I don't know something, I usually defer to people who do.
And they're so trustworthy?
And I know everything.
Yeah.
When there's billions of dollars to be made?
It's very hard for me to defer to other people.
Yeah,
but it happens.
When you're
tricky,
being
man.
told a different fucking story every week?
Yeah.
That's why I went to...
That all added up to you?
That's why I went to Cedar Sinai to have my heart surgery, not Frank down the block.
Different story.
Who knows about hearts?
Different story.
Who
If
heard-
they knew
who
so
heard-
much, why did the story change every fucking week? You can't say
Yeah.
you're
I
double
I don't want to have
talking.
this argument
Yeah.
You're
again.
double talking.
But
Yeah, no, but
science-
you're
science
double
changes.
talking, dude. Science
More
changes.
data-
Then why do you jump at the first
More
opportunity?
data becomes available.
Fine. That's fine. So why do I jump at the first fucking solution? Why would anybody? If it's changing, that's fine. No one's saying it can't change. But then how are you right in the beginning? It makes no sense.
Heart research is way different than a virus that is
It's brand new.
that is relatively new, and they're still sort of feeling it
That's
out.
based on
Like you say,
viral research from...
No one's not saying that they
decades.
weren't doing their research, but if that fucking information was ever changing, why am I going to jump at the first fucking thing that came out? That doesn't make any sense.
Fine. I like Stu's question. Then why did you go to a hospital when you thought you were sick?
Because they're trained to take care of sick patients.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I think we're gonna look back at a lot of
Ridiculous questions.
I think you know how they always say it takes like a good amount of time to look back at.
It's like saying, all right, Stu, liberal pants, why are all these liberals the first people to call the police when they need something? But they're also saying, defund the police.
exactly,
Eat my
Stu.
asshole.
Answer that one. Answer that
You know what I
one.
mean? Like-
Answer that one, Stu. You liberal little.
Him and his fucking tight little liberal pants. It makes no sense. Of course you're going to go hospital because that's what they do there.
Yeah.
They take care of sick people. You're sick, you're going to go there. That means I'm supposed to take an injection on something when there was ever-changing information on what was going on.
Yeah.
The story changed. Can we all admit that the story changed every fucking
time.
month, every week?
People thought masks were helping.
Yeah. So you're
were.
going to tell me that was
Masks
where we should
were
have
helping.
jumped onto the
Come on,
trend?
Come on.
You're an idiot.
Masks were helping, actually. Think of what it could have been. No one wants to think of what it could have been. They only see what happened, and they're like,
But it didn't help everybody.
could have been worse.
Yeah, maybe
It could have been worse. That's what no one wants to accept.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been 10 times worse than it was.
You finger pointing
How many-
over the
how many
crazy
people-
liberal
how many people
should
was
all
the
be
final-
embarrassed.
what was the
If what
final-
Rich is saying is true. If, and I don't know that.
What was the final death count? There's no final.
Hey,
but what
man,
was
fucking
the up-to-date death count.
We all
from
know people that
coronavirus?
died from that. No one's
It could've-
downplaying the
It
severity
could have
of
been
it.
tens of millions more that died from it. You don't know that.
I don't know. There's a lot of other countries that handled it different. They didn't have the same fucking shitty results that we had.
Talk to Italy.
It looked like it handled it. Looked like it translated different in everybody.
Oh, speaking of COVID, just as a random story we can move on from. Savannah Guthrie, who's what? That's a Today Show?
She's on the Today Show, yeah.
She left mid-show. She was like, yeah, I'm just not feeling great. They gave her a COVID test. They're like, oh, you're positive. So like mid-show, she's like, later, they sent her home to rest and get better. But that's a very different narrative than years ago, right?
Yeah. Totally off this subject. Because again, like people turn it into like some weird political stance.
You know what's a weird thought about COVID
It's like
too?
no one had the answers. That doesn't involve politics. Nobody had the answers.
You know what's an interesting thought about COVID? The Bachelor. The Bachelor got COVID and he's kissing all these women, but only one of them tested positive.
I know, yeah.
Greer.
But she's back.
She's back. But it is interesting that this dude who was all over these women, making out with all of them.
I wondered about that.
And I was like, I wonder how many of them. He had a one-on-one date with a girl and was smooching and making out and all over each other, and she didn't get COVID?
Smooching with everybody.
You've been smooching with everyone. Anyway,
I forget. You know, you talk to so many
I just figured I'd bring up something a little controversial, get people emotional today.
I think it much like the virus and how it affected people differently. I think the vaccine helped and hurt people.
I'm sure.
It affected people differently.
I'm sure there's research that shows all, but hey, do what's right for you. What might be right for you
Do what's right for you.
may not be right for some.
Don't care about your fellow man.
But we proved that caring about your fellow man meant nothing, Spot, when you could transfer the virus with the vaccine, you bozo. Do you remember the narrative was? What was the whole narrative?
You can't admit that the vaccine really wasn't what it was meant to be.
You can't admit that the vaccine wasn't as advertised?
Imagine if everyone listened,
Dude,
took the proper precautions.
Bro, the vaccine initially was take the vaccine, you can't get it or transmit it. Then it turned into get the vaccine, you may get it, but you can't transmit it.
And you're going to factor out the truth that like billions, maybe trillions of dollars were made on vaccines. That has nothing to do with the promotion of it. Nothing.
I mean, come on.
Nothing?
Come on, buddy.
Is that not even a factor?
I'm sure it worked.
It's not something to scratch your head over?
I mean,
I got mine for free.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I don't know. Who knows what the motive is? I don't know. I admit I don't know. So if I don't know, I'm going to fucking be wary of all of it.
The point is, you guys don't want us to talk about The Bachelor, so we talk about COVID. How do you like that? I just threw you for a loop. That was an experiment because you guys don't want to talk about light, stupid stuff. I'll talk about COVID, and then I'll read your feedback. You know what I'll think while I read your feedback? Don't worry about criticism from people that you wouldn't seek advice from. Message of the day.
Like taking health advice from a fat guy.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say you would never hire a personal trainer who's in worse shape than you.
I do find that weird. You ever see a personal trainer that's out of shape? And I'm like, they must know the.
It doesn't mean they
the
can't
ideology.
know,
They can help you, but I'm always wondering, like, if you know all this stuff, how come you don't apply? It makes me question your character.
I'm a yoga instructor, and I am the least flexible guy.
I guess that works. Yeah.
And they say the worst players make the best coaches. But it doesn't make sense. I don't know who told me this recently, but somebody did. I'm having a Rich Davis moment. Doesn't matter because not everybody deserves credit anyway. But someone was talking to me about, I think it was someone at the wedding I was with Jordan. That's why I'm forgetting. Someone was like, yeah, they do it all the time.
Oh.
It was actually. Yeah, they do it all. I'm like, I never heard of that. Spot, you might be interested in this because it involves swapping.
Oh.
Would you ever house swap with somebody?
Like
Isn't that the holiday?
The holiday, yeah.
The holiday with
the whole premise
Jack
of
Black and the whole Cameron Diaz?
Really? They
You never saw the
house swap?
holiday?
It's the whole premise of the holiday.
I don't know, but would you do that? Like, hey, some guy wants to come to LA and you're
That's
on
the
this
whole premise of the holiday.
But would you do that?
The premise of the holiday.
Am I gonna
Great. Who gives a fuck?
Am I going to fall in love with Jude Law?
I was asking if you would do that.
The answer.
Point here that I never saw the holiday.
If Jude Law is going to be there,
No, but
I'm in.
all right, but it would be like you say, just for perspective, it'd be like you saying, like, imagine if
I
kids
already
found
said
out.
I didn't see it though. I didn't see the holiday.
But it would be like you saying, hey, if you found the treasure map of your buddies for a treasure of a guy with one eye, would you do it? And we'd be like, yeah, that's Goonies.
Is everybody doing that? Because
I've
apparently
heard it,
he's
yeah.
saying there's apps that where
Yeah,
there's so
I've
many
heard a lot of
people
people
doing
do it.
that. I've never met or talked to anybody that said they did it. And he's like, yeah, people do it. I got property here.
I saw like
I
an
got
article
property in Hawaii. Yeah, it was at the wedding.
I saw an
Property in
article.
Hawaii. So yeah, they want to come to Hawaii and they, hey, I live in LA. You stay in my house in LA for a week, I'll go to your place in Hawaii for a week.
Yeah,
we do it. It's house swapping. We
I've
do it
heard
all the
people
time.
do it. I haven't done it
I'm like,
personally, but
all
I think
the time?
I've heard people do it. Yeah.
And I was like so blown away by that. I'm like, wait, so this is like a thing? Like I could see like, he's like, yeah, there's apps for that. People do it all the time. I'm like, fuck, man, I never thought of that. And he's like, yes, save some money, maybe even make some money out of it. But yeah, I have a few properties. So yeah, you want to stay at my place? Where do you live? Yeah, I'll fucking go there for a few days. I don't care. So it's like house swapping is a bigger thing than I thought, according to this guy who's saying he's on these apps and they do it all the time. And I was like, oh, all right.
Soft swapping?
House swapping.
I have a question for you.
You want strangers living in your house though for a week? I mean, I know you're doing the same, and those are Airbnbs, and I get all that.
Correct. I used to be more open to Airbnb, but I've sort of changed my mindset back to like, I'll take a hotel over an Airbnb any day now.
Yeah,
I used to
why
be.
is that?
I just feel like Airbnbs, the last couple experiences I've had, or like, I don't know. There is something
Griminess.
strange. There is something strange about it. I don't know.
I wouldn't want anyone in my
I'm not
home.
saying I don't trust it. I'm not being a weirdo. I just, sometimes it doesn't look as advertised, or I don't know. There was a weird party. Like, what did the people before this do?
Bed bugs.
Bed bugs. I'm like, it's just really just trusting a person. But then
Cheers
again,
parties.
we all take Ubers, and I don't know why we give such props to taxi drivers ahead of time as if they had more credibility.
Yeah, but some Ubers are fucking garbage, and then some Ubers are nice. So again, case by case. But it was, when Spot talks about what a scene his life has become. By the way, it sounds exhausting, Spot. It really does. Like so many moving parts to your lifestyle. If you listen to the new Poly Talk,
Oh, you listen? Thanks.
I did. I'm like, I don't know how this guy dove into this and isn't letting his head spin. All the terminology and fucking ways, and it's like, it's not that deep, bro. Like, fucking find a person you like, and,
Not that
and
deep.
like, it's not hook up with 'em. Like, it's just like this lifestyle, and all these fucking rules and terms you got to live by. It's like, it sounds like way too much. I feel like Rich is dead. I don't like it.
I don't like
It's just too much.
But the house swapping thing could be
But the
cool.
rewards are so...
Depends, right?
High.
All right, so let's say you wanted to go to New York City for a week.
By the way, it's not a judgy comment. It's like, it sounds exhausting.
If you want, his lifestyle. Yeah. We'll get back to that in a second. I was answering your previous question. I gave a little more thought to the house swapping thing, not the wife swapping thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're solo, no kids, like if Sarah and I lived out here in LA in an apartment, not our own home, if we were renting an apartment, like Spot and Krista would be a perfect example of if they wanted to go to New York City for a week, and there was some like hipster in the city that's like, I'm going to go to LA, check it out for a week. Spot could be like, where do you live? Union Square, 3rd floor walk up. It's a 1 bedroom. It's nice.
Yeah.
Spot could be like, so wait, I could stay in your place for a week for free. You could stay at my place. I trust you. Handshake. Like
I was so
it's
unaware
weird.
that
It's
more
weird,
of this
but
goes on than I
yeah.
realized. Much like Spot's new world of like everyone's a swinger,
You know who I
everyone's,
think
everyone's in an open relationship, and he's discovering it all the time. How there's this whole world.
You know, I
of
think
people.
does it.
I didn't realize there was all these people house swapping and using apps to do these.
You know
things.
who I think does it?
Who?
Rich people. I mean, you could
Yeah,
say
'cause
the
they have
opposite.
properties.
Yeah, but like it's like property based where it's like.
Like they don't. It's not their primary residence.
I'll give you an example.
so-
Like, there's two people that will offer, like Drew Mack, who's super kind and generous.
Oh,
Drew
okay.
Mack will say,
I got
yeah,
six houses
No,
in
my family,
Nashville.
my family has a property in Costa Rica.
Oh.
If you and Sarah ever want to use it, if no one's using it, hey, it's on us. Or
I hear the Maldives property is
yeah,
under
like
construction
my
right
mom
now.
has a friend that has the open invite. Like, I have a place in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you want to check it out, like,
East Coast thing.
if people want to
house swap.
you know.
I'm like, I didn't realize it was that big of a scene. He's like, yeah, millions of people do it. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Now to wife swapping. Spot, give me one highlight from your poly talk that will lure people, that will make people go watch it. What's a good highlight? What did we discover? Anything new? When you say exhausting, is it because he's constantly like
We share
What's exhausting?
We share
There's no like when there's no like you remember like just like keeping your story straight, dating all these people, like that's a lot. You know, it really is. It gets to be a lot.
We don't.
There seems to be no rest.
We don't do it as much as you think we do.
Then why even do it?
It's like when you're seeing someone, it's like you're not seeing them every night of the week. Maybe you see someone here and there.
Yeah, but when I was single, my dick didn't have an off button.
Well, I have a life. I have a real life.
No, but I'm saying like,
if I were single, I'd still be dating as much.
Is Kristen seeing anyone on the regular?
Yeah, she still has someone she sees.
I have a question then.
Regular is a very loose term because
in our world,
everyone has lives.
No, but here's the pregunta for you.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, by the way, here's the fun little nugget, and you could hear all of this on Poly Talk on our Behind the Velvet Rope Tier 2 upgrades, Tier 2 Plus. Spot and Kristen went to this high-end, swanky masquerade sex party.
We talked about the sex party. I wore my mask.
Right? He wore his weird mask.
Was it a weird mask? It's a masquerade mask.
Very weird. Very weird.
It's a masquerade.
Very, very.
How is that weird?
Come on. He's having Phantom of the Opera sex with random people.
I did.
And Spot's sort of mad at Kristen because Spot goes for what he calls Ken and Barbies, right?
Attractive people.
And by the way, Spot has all these acronyms and terminology. It almost sounds like so much, right?
I know.
I was with this DF2, and then she went for this
DF2? What's a DF2?
I'm like, I don't know what these terms
those
are.
Words were never said.
Because I don't know these terms.
R2D2, and you know.
So
he's making this up as he goes along.
Yeah, because I don't know the terminologies that you use. So of course I'm making it up.
All right,
So-
Noel Gallagher.
Yeah. So yeah, that's funny.
Noel Gallagher refuses to call Sam Smith they.
Yeah, they're fighting. So Kristen, Spot is mad at Kristen because Kristen's like, he's expecting her to be the wingman to these hot couples, and she like refuses to go up to Ken and Barbies for Spot.
Why is that? Because she feels insecure.
Rich, like Rich.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you and Sarah,
We'd be a Ken and Barbie.
no. If you and Sarah,
Apparently they're much hotter than
this
you.
is what I'm trying to say.
I doubt that.
That's what he's
If
saying.
you
He's
and-
saying
You think Spot deals with people? Come on.
he's saying that
He's not going to a Tony Moriello fucking influencer sex party.
Spot is saying that they're incredibly handsome.
Yeah, there were a lot of attractive people at this party. Sorry, Rich.
Okay. I believe you.
Okay. I mean, I acknowledge attraction. I know what attraction is.
Well, your
I know what
gauge
convention-
is off.
No, it's not, Rich.
So go on. So
Nice try, though. I mean, was
Go
Tony
ahead.
Moriello there? No, but there were other attractive people there.
no, but let's hear your why Kristen won't approach people.
She thinks they're like fucking like. That's not her style.
What I'm trying
she
to
likes
say,
like nerdy, like she's like more of a substance based person, I guess.
is if you
Spot is going after these superficial people, and she's like, those are fucking like Ken and Barbies. I'm not playing your game.
if you see a
That's
couple,
is that what you would go for in a sex world?
exactly. If you see a couple floating around,
Like, why would you go?
that's not interacting with anyone, they're just kind of floating around. Why not just be that's who you talk to while everyone else is talking? You go to that couple, they just happen to be
I
attractive.
have a question for you. What happens?
But Rich, I was saying, if you were at a party with Sarah, usually the
Some
woman,
of these comments are hilarious.
usually the woman,
you gotta watch the Poly Talk because you could see how there's such a scene.
usually the woman would be the approacher. Like the woman approaches the other woman because it's more of a softer approach. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think that is. I agree with the girl approaching girl is probably your best bet in those.
But Kristen doesn't want to do that for him.
She doesn't want to do
for
that.
him. So it's a bit of a. It's an interesting story.
How do you feel about? But my question is,
And Spot's like, but you're supposed to do that for me.
yeah, I agree with Spot.
It was a good
As
conversation.
much as Spot's
It was an
eye roll,
interesting
eye rolly about certain things, I agree with him. Like Kristen, why would Kristen not have it? If you're in a swinger sex party, are you going there to meet intellectual nerds? No, you're going there to hook up with someone hot.
My gripe is Kristen has no problem meeting attractive men. None whatsoever. And because there's an abundance of attractive men on these dating apps and they all like her. I've seen them. I've seen these guys that like her and I'm like, Jesus. Not actually. Actually, sometimes people actually look like Jesus who like her. But she has all this access. So for me, it's a little bit trickier because it's such a saturated market of men. And when you're trying to approach women. So she asked me, what can I do for you? And I'm like, when we go to these parties, this is my way of connecting with other women. And she doesn't see that.
It's interesting. I'm just trying to promote our tier 2 conversation, and I was only comparing the house swap.
Yeah, like
Apparently, house swap is such a scene.
Reggie backs you up in that. You think a sex party is designed for intellect?
You still want to. You still want to like.
Kristen presents. I'm telling you, based on what she says,
talk to people.
She presents that she's more into it for the substance than anything else. That's why she's like.
I would be fucking scared if I were you.
I'm not.
I'm saying if I were you, I would be scared because intellectual relationships are the ones that could get a little sticky. Like if you and Kristen were just sleeping with other people, what I was going to ask you before that came up was, how long does Kristen have to see someone on the regular?
That is interesting because think about it. Let me back you up there. I'm not saying that. I haven't thought it out yet. But think about when men, let's say they cheated on women, right? They never cared about the women they were hooking up with. They're just getting their penis wet. Like, yeah, whatever. I still love my wife. I just had a moment, right? When women cheat or they seek the accompaniment and companionship of others, it was always an emotional connection, and that usually led to something.
So
right?
my point is, if Kristen has an emotional relationship with someone and it keeps going on and on, at what point do you say, yeah, we've had enough of this guy? Like, it's been 6 months and you're hanging with this guy. Like, you want her to have long-term emotional connections with a dude?
Yeah. It's like, it's more friends.
That is scary based on
with benefits.
What I've seen
than anything. I'm looking for the exact same thing. If you heard Poly talk.
Yeah, but isn't that what you seek in a partner? Like this type of world
That's
is.
what I'm saying. It's like such.
So why are you married then?
It's such
That's
a
why you can't
complex scene.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to grasp.
That's what I'm saying. It like sounds exhausting. It's so difficult to compartmentalize these things.
Like you have that bond.
That's
if
why
you tell me you and Kristen
is so different.
If you and Kristen had this bond,
but the bond with
if you,
someone else enhances the bond you have with your wife. That's why.
I mean, who says who?
It's hard to understand. It's not for you.
All right.
That's why it's not. This is not for you.
You and exactly.
That's what I say to Theo every day.
This is not for you.
You and Kristen.
It's coffee, dude. Back
Do you
off.
give a little nose tap?
No.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just thinking like
it's a fucking protein bar. Beat it.
It's
you do the nose tap.
Man,
not for you,
A
bro.
little nose slap.
Hey, Theo. Not for you, man. Hey, what do you got there? Carrots? Can I get some? Not for you, man. And that's, you know what? It may be as simple as that. But I'm saying, I get what Rich is saying based on things that I've seen. If Rich was like, let's say, knock on wood, if he was cheating on Sarah, I don't think nothing's going to jeopardize his relationship with Sarah. He was just like, he had a horny moment. And that was it. It was like a means to an end. Like that was it.
If Sarah was having an emotional like connection with some dude for months and months and months, I'm saying that's where things get tricky. Yeah.
Like when
again in our traditional learnings,
like when I was seeing that one girl regularly, while sex was involved and you get a different perspective of sex, you also get a different perspective of other people's lives from a more intimate connection that you can't get from like just the surface connection of talking to people. It's tricky to explain.
Oh yeah, I will say. Hold on, I will say. And there was a lot of times I thought to myself, wasn't that what your wife's for? You know, I did say that to myself, not in a judgy way, Spot, like in an auto response kind of way.
If everyone really explored or like examined, it's very hard to get 100% of your needs met from one person. And I don't mean necessarily the physical aspect. I mean, like, you know, it's no different than having a group of friends or a circle of friends or talking with family and unloading with family. And it's.
Yeah, but Spot, like Paul Demetric said, I get the sex part, but the emotional part is what ruins relationships. Like, all right, if Kristen was like, yeah, the surfer guy that I hook up with, he's like a sort of a bozo surfer guy, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, there was a bozo surfer guy.
Yeah, and like some artsy weenie
she
guy.
With that guy, by the way.
Yeah, but
he wore a red rubber nose when he surfed.
Yeah.
But the point is, Spot, if she was hooking up with that dude, and it was like, oh my God, like once in a while they just go out for a drink and they hook up and it's like something exciting and different. Once she starts confiding and having deep, awesome conversations with someone, that's what you're for. And then that's the only time I'll jump on. You know, when some people are like,
I would never let myself. You would never let yourself go there.
You know how some people some people's answer to you, Spot, which I don't agree with. You know, some people be like, well, why are you even married then? I never take that approach.
You said that to me.
No, but
you just said that like a minute ago.
I said it if you're creating emotional long-term bonds with someone else. If you're using this as like, yo, Chris and I are having this wild sex life, that's exciting and fun, and a lot of people could be like, well, I can see what Spot's doing. Even you exploring men is like, wow,
Yeah.
Spot's really being
I
crazy.
can compartmentalize
It's
that.
exciting,
I can.
but it is still
Spot.
a little bit. It's still a little bit empty.
Spot,
it's not,
I promise you, if Sarah said, Rich, see that hot girl over there? I talk to her. I go to my fucking ass bunda class with her, and I think I'm okay with her blowing you.
Isn't that redundant? Ass bunda class?
Yeah, it's bunda bunda.
like
So no, but so what I'm saying is, if some random hot girl blew me, I'd be like, that wouldn't affect how I care about or love Sarah
Right.
at all.
But if she became your best friend,
if for months every day I was texting her and
became
hitting
your
her up,
soulmate.
and was like, came to her with my daily issues, or like, yeah, I'm really bummed about this. What's going on? Well, you know, at work, I got that. Then you start
I have a
confiding
question.
in someone, and
Look, the only reason I want to make this clear, I didn't want to talk about Spot's personal life. I was talking about house swaps and how it's a scene, much like Spot. Like, what a scene.
he brought it to swapping.
no, you said swapping, not like Spot. So you did sort of.
No. And then I was harping on or hyping up his
What is that? Oh,
his tier 2 poly talk. Like, check it out.
Like-
it's interesting. Hold on, Spot.
Yeah.
You ever get to the point now where like you're confusing memories too, though?
No.
Like I jokingly, ready? I jokingly messed with Jordan the other day, and she got so mad. But it was actually endearing that she was mad. We were watching.
You remember when I fucked you in the parking
No,
garage?
no.
That wasn't me. No.
Even dumber story. Even dumber story. We were watching The Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
And what video game were they
don't give
playing?
away anything.
No, they were playing a video game.
Mortal Kombat.
She's like, remember when I whooped your ass in Mortal Kombat when we first started dating?
And you probably said, that was you.
I jokingly, of course I
Yeah.
remember where we were. I remember the whole thing, right? And I'm like, oh.
we get the one up.
I'm like, that was you? Nah. Like, and I was totally
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
But dude, she bought it. She was so mad, right? But I actually egged it on because I'm like, oh, I love seeing how much she cared. Like, oh, like there's a heart in there. She does. It meant something to her.
That was you?
Yeah. I was like, really? I didn't know that was you. She's like, you gotta be. Are you fucking? She's like, hit me. I'm like, don't confuse our memories. I'm like, oh, look, she cares, right? Felt nice.
You're like, and then we went out for
Kristen was
hibachi.
talking
She's like, no.
Kristen
No.
was talking about going to see Cocaine Bear with some other dude.
She's going to the movies with a dude?
In the future, though, she's gonna forget.
I went to the movies with somebody.
He saw Maverick
I
with
saw
another
Top Gun
woman.
Maverick with my.
But you're gonna forget. Is that
poly
gonna
partner.
bother you when she's like, "Remember when we saw Cocaine Bear in 2020?" And you're like, "That wasn't me."
No,
That's not gonna bother you ever.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Tell me one thing that does bother you, because you do have very I think you put there's
I've gotten
there's
past-
got to be
no.
a slight bit of a front going
I
on.
moved on from that.
No, but hold on.
I just
I'm
want to
saying,
address. Can I just address one comment?
Sure.
Tony said, "I bet this poly was a compromise to someone cheating. Neither of us cheated. We weren't looking to cheat. We were fine. It just kind of opened up and snowballed." And I had to explain that.
Now here, yeah,
But
that's a
let
good.
me- and let-
You
but let me
have
say-
every right to
but
it.
Let me say this. Sure, it's easy to have sex with anybody or get your dick sucked or do all that kind of stuff. But there is
vulgar.
There is it does kind of elevate things when you talk and have a little bit of more intimate
That's
connection.
called creating something deeper.
So
That's dangerous.
I crave deep. I'm not a shallow guy. Sorry.
Then
That's dangerous territory to me.
To me, to
'Cause as
most.
Spot said, "This is not for you." As Pearl Jam said,
Like when
What would prevent Kristen from saying like, yeah, you know, the more I'm like just hanging with this guy and we have these deep bonds, like it's deeper than the bond I have with you, then you're like,
we're
you can't guarantee that. You could say all day, I guarantee. You can't guarantee that.
we've both set boundaries.
yeah, it's like playing with fire. It is.
But like,
There
why
has to
do
be.
you? I'm not.
At some
I'm the
level
number
of it.
one person that's like, I hope this works out for Spot. But why do you play naive to be like, just because you set boundaries, they're gonna be, they're like, oh, it's all good.
Well, I mean, it's about recognizing those boundaries, and when you hit them, that's when you make the change.
I do have one question.
The truth
You-
is,
you
Rich,
play this
like,
awfully-
really
you play
don't-
this-
The
you play
truth
it-
is, though, we have our own experiences that we could judge things based on. And I thought about this. I did, Spot. I was like, but the truth is, we don't know. We don't know because we never experienced it. It's like telling Spot, like, you don't know because you're not a parent. He's never really gonna know. We're never gonna know unless we're in it.
Unless,
I don't know.
Unless Sarah and I start
Exactly.
fucking randos, then we'll never know that feeling. But my thought is, Spot, you almost play it too too cool. Can you at least be honest and tell us something that bothers you? Because you can't be so like you're so like, yeah, like who cares? Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't bother you at all that like if your wife has a
Oh,
bomb.
yeah, I'll give you one. I'll start it off. Ready?
Yeah.
I was watching a TV show the other day, and Jordan said, "Yeah, that guy looks so much like my ex. I can't even look at him." And then I had the thought of some guy with Jordan. I'm like, yeah, I don't like that thought.
I used to feel that way.
No, meaning like even the thought of like
I processed a lot of feelings. I did. This all I went through all of this in like the first month or two, and now
So what did you go through in the first month?
I watched the first Poly Talk.
it sounds. I'm telling you, Rich.
Well,
it
that's the first
sounds
Poly Talk.
exhausting, and that's why
not just
like,
exhausting.
No wonder Spot's fucking
Poly
got
Talk
bedhead every day.
episode
He's
1.
exhausted.
But that's the thing. You think I'm fucking
No, but he doesn't do it. I know.
Day to day.
I watched it, so I know
Day.
they're not taking advantage of it.
Day to day. No, it's not about taking advantage. Day to day, I'm a busy guy. I was. There was a girl waiting on Friday night. There was a girl waiting for me to come over and fuck her. And you know what? Because we did Dan Patrick in the morning. I tried to sneak in a nap. I had to teach yoga at night and it was raining heavily. I'm like, by the end of the night, I'm like, I am so fucking exhausted.
You didn't do it.
There's no way I can go fuck this girl right now.
Yeah, it's insane. You're in this life.
It's not for you, bro. Not for you.
I would never be too tired to go fuck a random girl if I were you in this scenario.
Here's the thing.
Your wife's going to see Cocaine Bear and go on love dates with other people, but you're too tired to go fuck someone.
Those are the words of someone starved for sex. I am not starved for sex, so I can put it on hold.
I mean, not
watch
starved. People that
yourself.
just want to get booty.
Hey, you know what? It's a scene. We don't know enough about it. You want to learn more? Tier 2. I also did one, not as juicy.
Don't you
as
feel like
Spots,
you're ruining their lives?
behind the velvet rope?
You know, and that's been a concern.
You ever
but,
feel like you're ruining their lives?
That's part of the E and
it takes two to tango.
That's part of the ethical and ethical
No,
non-monogamy.
but I'm saying let's say this dude's falling for Kristen.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he signed up for it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
part
but
of
he
the.
might. Well, dude.
No
That's
one's
part of
forcing
the.
that.
That's part of the.
I don't.
Rich,
Hold on, bro.
That's part of the ethical and ethical non-monogamy. When you
Everyone said, dude.
when you are open from the beginning,
Give
and you
Rich the
say,
one shot real quick.
It is,
I mean, there's accountability there for
but
the other
what
guy.
I'm
No,
saying, there are times in just heterosexual straight dating scenes where you're like, let's just be friends with benefits, and one person will always catch feelings. Why do you think not so? Do you think that this lifestyle is above someone catching feelings? Every time in my life, every time in my life where I was dating a girl,
you really should watch Poly Talk.
I will. Every time in my life, in
All
my
4
whole
episodes.
damn life, from the time I was a teenager until I was married, every time I was hooking up with someone and then sentiment was, this is fun, I really enjoy your company, but we're friends with benefits. One of the two people caught feelings. So I just say, what happens when Kristen and artsy guy keep hanging out, keep doing it? What if at one point she's like, I don't want him out of my life. I want him in my life permanently. Then you're okay. Like, what if she's like, you know what? I really enjoy his company. Every Thursday and Friday, I want to stay there 2 days a week because I want more time with him.
If you watch, they rationalize.
That wouldn't happen.
But why?
If you watch Poly Talk, they rationalize it because they're fulfilling needs that they don't want to fulfill for each other. Like, so if Spot's like, I like, let's say Spot's saying like,
You're pointing that out. You're phrasing that improperly.
okay, see, again, I don't speak his jargon.
yeah.
So please.
You're making it sound very negative. Like, I have needs that she can't satisfy. It's not true.
No, there's things that Kristen doesn't want to do.
Well, you said
but
Kristen
she's-
doesn't like-
Hold on. That she's glad that other people fulfill because she's like, because I don't want to do that.
But it's not something like I'm not seeking out jackhammering a girl. I'm not
oh
seeking
yeah,
that out.
that was the conversation. That was the conversation. She's like,
that doesn't do anything for me, to be honest. It's fun, but like to me, I'd rather I like you said, I like more intimate sex.
watch Poly
Very
Talk.
passionate lover.
Hey,
You gotta watch Poly. You gotta watch Poly.
Yeah, you're giving up the juice.
I'm just because
it's not for you, bro.
It's not for you. See it as a different thing. You see it as I just want to go off.
What's this? Is there a success rate, Spot? You know how they say like 50%, 60% of marriages end in divorce?
I haven't really
What
done
about
the-
these situations?
I haven't looked up the statistics. I mean,
Because I understand what Rich is saying, again, from our own experience,
According to
which is
everyone-
different, right? Rich is saying, and this is the only reason I worry for you too, Spot. You know how many times my ego said, this girl will never leave me? And you know how many times they left me? 100% of the time.
Get this. According to stats and census 2022,
Yeah.
40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce, 40
Yeah.
to 50. Second marriages, 60 to 67%. So it's like if you
terrible.
Yeah, the second marriage is even the trickier
This
one.
is just regular marriage, or is this
But
when involving
no,
open
Spot,
relationships?
My point Spot is
I think
just
that's what he was asking.
I was,
The
but-
success rate of open relationships.
Oh, I know. No, but what I was saying is
That'd be interesting to find out.
Let me do a googly.
It works for what you're saying. I'm just saying the emotional part of things. Like, we can't be naive and be like, oh, because someone's in this lifestyle, they're all so mature to be able to handle this. Not everyone's going to be mature enough to handle. Like, I gave the best example. Maybe you talk about it on Poly Talk and I'll watch. But what if Kristen's like, I really enjoy this guy's company. In fact, I want to see him more. So in fact, every Thursday
they're both there, so maybe it cancels out.
But what if it's
they're
like-
already saying stuff?
But
like
what
that?
if it's like, I want an arrangement where every Thursday after work, I go to his place and I'll come back home Saturday. I want to spend Thursday and Friday with this guy. And all of a sudden you have like your wife's part-time living with another dude, or like you're okay with those scenarios?
he signed up for it? So yes, because it becomes a push. Because
Yeah.
he could do the same.
Yeah.
And he's seeking the same.
Right.
But she just has more luck than he does, for obvious reasons. It's just easier for a woman.
You don't think eventually, I'm just saying, she could shut it down, which is your hope. But you don't think at some point there's going to be a guy that's like, forget Spot, forget Christian. Like, we have a better connection. Like, leave that behind. Do you think she, like,
Watch
that's...
Poly Talk. Tier 2 plus.
Jesus.
All
my answers are there.
Yeah.
All your answers are on Poly Talk.
And you're going to be like, it's such a scene. It's such a world. He's speaking a new language now. It's fucking shocking.
Are you still a he and him?
I have not become a they them.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't want to.
And
I don't want to Sam Smith you. I don't want to say that.
Anytime I see a they them on a profile, I'm like, nope, not for me. Nope.
Yikes.
Nope.
Well, hey, gives me something to watch later on.
There you go.
Poly Talk.
What's today?
More
Tuesday?
exciting than the Borchler.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Especially
you know
since
what's
you know the
shocking,
person,
Spot?
people involved.
Is how brazen not only you are,
Fucking
but
brazen.
your wife is. The things she says, it's like she's the definition of, it's always the quiet ones. Holy shit! Like you're like
I think that's what people find the most fascinating.
yeah.
Is that us, the two of us who are like the most plain couple out there, are off doing this crazy ass shit.
like she's wild, dude.
She's not as wild as you think, but she's
The things she says are wild. I'm only going based on what she
What
says.
is the wildest thing Kristen said? Leave
gotta
it at that.
watch.
Leave it at that, and then we'll go. We'll say goodbye. What is the wildest thing Kristen said that you're like, what?
Wow, time flew.
Yeah, we got to get out of here.
You know what? I was trying to think of that and I can't. But it involves penis.
Invite a
Props to
water buffalo, ice cubes, and
that fake answer you played the other day. Oh, the Joey Votto story.
yeah.
That was the wildest thing she said. There was aliens, penis. There was a whole thing involved.
Yeah, would you like to join us as a moderator for the next Poly Talk to have all your questions answered?
Whoa, bro, that would be wild. You should do that. You should
Moderate?
I would say watch first before
Do
you
I have
answer.
to wear like a suit and have a skinny microphone like I'm
Watch
a
first
game
before
show
you
host?
answer.
I'll just have you up in the corner.
Watch first before you answer.
Oh, I don't even have to come to your house. I can do it remotely.
You could do it remotely.
That would be great.
Fine.
Gotta do it.
What? I don't want you sitting on my bed.
I know, that's so funny.
Oh, that's right. You do it from your bed.
So again, it's just such a scene. Any other feedback before we go? Thank you guys. As far as random news, Tom Brady is considering a Netflix roast called The Greatest Roast of All Time. He's dabbling in that, like, hey, I'm Tom Brady. I get it. People hate me. Roast me. Let's go. That shit would be funny.
Oh, hold on. What did Kristen said? She likes smaller men when she gets F-faced?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That was it.
What's F-faced?
No, she doesn't.
I don't know. Fill in the blank, genius.
I think he means face.
Oh,
F.
face fuck.
Yes.
No, but she likes smaller ones in general. She likes normal, like
Yes.
average size.
So-
And I'm like, Kristen, the Spot's wife who fucking barely said boo.
So some
For
guy,
the past 15 years?
some guy with a little weenie is grabbing her
never
head. And he's
said-
like, "Ugh."
She never said face fucked.
Yes, she did.
Oh, did she? Where was I?
Yeah, I don't know, but I heard it with my own ears.
Your wife tell the world that she likes a guy with a little weenie to be like, ugh.
Not a little weenie.
That's what he said.
Just
Jesus.
a normal size.
Could Sarah, could Sarah moderate with me?
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like a lot.
Yo, to quote Niall Horan, who I interviewed yesterday, no judgment.
No judgment.
No judgment. And I had no judgment.
I don't expect people to understand it. I don't expect people to do it. But just know that the two of us are happy.
I'm happy that you're happy.
We have never been happier. And we've never felt more connected. And yeah. I don't know what else to say.
How much is it? You know what? I'll save this for when I do my poly talk with you and moderate. Yeah.
No, what's your question?
One last question, then we'll say arrivederci. How much of this ties back to the fact that you guys were both shy and inexperienced when you got married? So like you didn't have the fuck stories. And like if you were the guy that, if you had.
Are you under the impression that my wife was shy and inexperienced?
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, you then.
She's just quiet. I don't think she's
I'm saying like, Spot, how much of this has to do with you spending your 20s and your 30s not really hooking up much at all, and now you have this ability? Like when you met your wife, like your experience level of hooking up was minimal. Now you're like, now you're meeting random girls for fuck dates and dudes. Like now you're
Spot and Bruce Leroy.
It's like, you're fucking across the valley now.
I really am.
You're valley fuck boy. So if you're
a little ashamed, like I started typing out my body count, and I'm like, Jesus.
By the way,
I overheard, that thing, Overheard LA. I overheard like these two girls talking. They're like, there's a yoga instructor with a beard who's around fucking everybody in the valley.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, is his name Christian? I think I heard of him.
Can I tell you, body count's the best phrase that the younger people came up with.
Yeah.
Like when we were younger, other generation would be like, how many people have you got with?
What's your
hooked
number?
up with? Like, I think body count. I was like, how come no one ever thought of that? What's your body count?
Hello, Ice-T.
Body count. Well, hey, you know what? Enjoy your face effing.
And we'll see you.
Hopefully the guy's got a little weenie.
We'll see you on Fox Sports Radio later today. Unless, of course, they take off for load management reasons. Charles Barkley, not a fan of that. But yeah, shout out to Chris Cash.
Is that why you and Kristen took off?
Yeah, honestly.
Load management?
Honestly, I do take load management days.
Chris
it can
Cash.
be a bit much.
Chris Cash, Gabe Moreno, EA, KCT, Brett, Ryan Caldwell, all the Carls and Carlitas, everybody. Carlos and Fresno and Liz.
Who's been the dirtiest person you've hooked up with? Is it a guy that fucking has bad odor, or is it a girl that had a dirty vagina? Like, what's your worst scenario? What's your worst story so far? As far as like, yeah, I met this person. It's like, her ass stunk, or a guy's like had gross balls.
There was the one girl that.
Oh, you said she had just BO. She was like very natural.
She was natural. Like
Barf.
She was very well groomed, had a great body, but she was the one that worked in nature with the deer. I feel like she wasn't into like deodorant or anything. So she just had a natural funk about her. But like
functified, bro.
Like her, she didn't like, it wasn't dirty or nasty down there.
Don't funk with my heart.
But yeah, she just had an overall aroma.
Terrible Terry Funk. She had that Funkhauser going on.
Funky Comadina.
She had that
La, la,
Grandmaster
la,
Funk.
la. All right. So have a great Tuesday. Your last day of February. March.
Don't forget.
Starts tomorrow. Subscriptions. Get people involved. Let's do this. You know what?
If your billing is the first of the month.
Check your credit card today.
Just please check your credit card today. That's all I ask.
And you know what? I want to keep doing this. So get the subscriptions going. We appreciate it. You guys are the loyal, great ones.
We got a new studio to build.
Pass it along to a friend. Maybe tell your friend like, hey, get a Patreon. I'll pay for the first month or so. Get someone involved. Listen, it would make everything a hell of a lot easier, and it'll make this continue to be worth it for sure. So thank you guys. Love you. Enjoy your last day of February. Arrivederci, baby.
See you. The promised land.
Goodbye.